It's time for Intelligent Machines. We're going to talk to Steve Yegge this week. He is the author of one of the coolest Claude Code add-ons, Gastown. We'll talk about AI memory, how to get your AI coder to go farther, and what polecats have to do with deacons and mayors. Next on Intelligent Machines.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Intelligent Machines with Paris Martineau and Jeff Jarvis, episode 856, recorded Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. Secretly British. It's time for Intelligent Machines, the show where we cover the latest AI news, robotics. We talk about smart people and smart things all around you, and I am so pleased to welcome our very smart team, Paris Martineau, investigative reporter for Consumer Reports. Salute!
I'm here and ready to podcast.
And I think you just saw the Melania movie, and you probably want to give us your review.
Oh my!
I was there. Well, I tried to be there, but it was just sold out.
No room in the inn for Paris Martineau. Oh, well, we'll have to hold that review for later. Also with us, Professor of Journalistic Innovation Emeritus at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York.
It's back.
And he's a adjunct something or other at Montclair State and, of course, at SUNY Stony Brook. Author of the Gutenberg parenthesis, What Would Google Do? I should bring that up this time because we have a Googler on the line with us, former Googler, and the Gutenberg parenthesis and magazine. That's the one.
And Hot Type coming up.
And Hot Type any day now. Well,
June 11th.
Any month now. Sometime this year.
Publishing.
So if you're paying attention to AI, we're in a very different world in the last few weeks. We've talked a lot about Claude Code, Clawbot, OpenClaw, Claudebot, Moltbot. There's another something like that.
No, the nay is the opposite. The nay is what you were, not what you are.
It was OpenClaw. No, it's Claudebot, Moltbot, now OpenClaw.
Oh.
Yes. Its maiden name.
Very confusing.
Was Claudebot. But Anthropic didn't like that so much. But today we're going to talk about I think a project of equal interest with its author, Steve Yegge. Steve's worked around a little bit. You were at Amazon. You were at Google. You're the author of the very famous memo we talked a lot about. Can it be now 14 years ago?
Wow.
Yep. 15 in a way, right?
Holy cow.
October 2011.
Stephen wrote that piece that we talked about that kind of leaked out about Google Plus and how Google had failed us. And we agreed, Stephen. I just want to say we agreed. So were you a Google Plus engineer? Was that your thing?
No. I was, I think, in cloud at the time.
Okay. And what do you do now for a living?
That's a trick question. Yeah, I don't do anything right now.
You have a great medium that I adore, Human Stories and Ideas. Stephen's a very good writer. And your story about Gastown, the future of coding agents, which came out earlier, about a month ago now. You launched Gastown on January 1st. New Year's Day, 2026. I installed it shortly thereafter, even though on your graph of the types of vibe coders, I am really only in a stage 5. This is how coding has evolved. We are now in the post-YOLO phase. I was watching a vibe coder, I think it was George Hotz, actually, who said, we are now, forget security, just YOLO everything. That was with regard to OpenClaw, of course. But you have written something that really goes to figure 8, the 8th stage of programming, where you have a team. All of this within Claude Code. That's what Gastown is. And I love the roles that you've come up with Gastown. But before we go too much into this, we should probably reiterate your caution. This is not for everyone.
And if you want to know how not for everyone it is, just peruse the text size on his Medium post, which will stop you in your tracks.
Has that changed in a month, or is it more suitable for general public?
No, don't touch it or you'll die. It's still there.
However, that does not stop anybody, does it?
It hasn't stopped anyone, right?
No.
And we've got like 500 people on the Discord now, and we're going to federate the gas towns together into a wasteland. So I'm going to have 500 gas towns in this huge wasteland, all working together to build something massive. It's going to be really fun.
Let's take a step back. For anyone who's living under a rock, what is Gastown, and where did it originate from?
I mean, in short, it's Claude code running Claude code. It's agents running agents, right? Which kind of turns it into a factory, and you're sort of managing a team. And I knew that this year would be the year of orchestrating. I told everybody it would be. And so that's why I launched symbolically on January 1st, right? There's going to be so many orchestrators. You're going to see lots and lots, but they're all roughly the same footprint, which is you have an agent that you work with that then goes and runs others for you, and you can get lots of work done that way. But it's all AIs writing the code that you're not looking at. So, so a lot of people are pretty scared about it for good reason. And it's really not very safe right now. I'm operating in a place where I'm almost like a researcher right now, right? And it's all fun and everything. And people are actually finding real use cases for it in enterprise at Fortune 100 companies for Gastown, as junky as it is now. But I wouldn't use it.
We are in an absolute revolutionary era. It's just hard to believe. And we're waiting because any minute now, Anthropic's going to come out with a Sonnet 5. You probably have it already, right?
No, but I knew it's going to land any day because I've been telling people for a week that it's going to land every day because the half-life between their model drops has gone from 4 months at the beginning of last year to 2 months at the beginning of this year, and Opus 4.5 is 2 months old. So, they're due imminently,
November
right?
24th, 2025 changed my life. 4.5 was so good. It was mind-bending. But I think that the difference between the people who get it in AI today and the people who don't is whether you've used 4.5 or not. I would agree with you. I'm going to read you a little later. I'm going to read, once you're gone, I'm embarrassed to read it in front of you, a conversation I had with Claude just a little while ago. And what's interesting about Claude Code is Claude 4.5 has a personality. Opus 4.5 has a personality. And it's not exactly sycophantic. It's not the ChatGPT 5.2, or what it was at 4.0 kiss your ass kind of thing. It's kind of like your best buddy that you want to work with, you want to pair code with. It's fun. And it codes really, really well. I should mention that Steve is the author of a book also about vibe coding. Building production-grade software with Gen AI, chat agents, and beyond. You co-wrote that with Gene Kim, the author of the DevOps Handbook. And the foreword is by a guy named Dario Amodei. I know that name from somewhere. Somewhere. When did this come out?
It went to print in October.
Things have changed a lot in 3 months.
Yeah, so we wrote a book that wasn't actually going to be right until early this year.
Smart. You skated to where the code was going. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So this, in a way, this is not, so others have predicted this. It was, I guess, predictable. It seems to me that we are really in an era that people have wanted since the earliest days of personal computing. The whole history of coding is higher and higher level languages, closer and closer to English. But now we really are just talking to our computers.
And everyone's happy about it except the engineers.
Yeah, the guys who learned Fortran, they're not thrilled.
They're mad.
They're mad. You did Gastown and Go. Is that your favorite language? I'm going to have to think
about it because I've never looked at the code. But yes, it was
You've
Go.
Never looked at the code? One of the instructions...
You can tell if you were to look at it.
It's pretty wild. One of the instructions I have in my Claude.md rules is, Leo is always looking at the code in an IDE, so make sure you do a good job. It's the one time I've lied to Claude is I'm not looking at the code.
Do you think that really changes something? Do you think it's, quote, not trying to do a good job unless that's there?
Well, let me ask Steve. That's a great question. Does this tool obey your instructions? Does it know what you're asking for?
It's getting, 4.5 is getting scarily smart at reasoning through very complicated situations, which is almost independent of coding. It makes it smart at everything, right? That said, these things have a tendency to be about 80% right at anything that they tell you or anything that they produce. And so you've gone from using a rake to rake leaves to using a leaf blower, and stuff blows around a little bit more until it converges on being correct.
Let me read you just a little. There's so much good prose in your Gastown post. Gastown is a bit of a swamp thing right now. It sort of oozes rather than whirs. It does work, and astonishingly fast, but it requires a lot of manual steering and course correction, and sometimes you have to push it to finish. So that's important. People shouldn't assume that you're just going to push a button and you're going to one-shot the next, Flappy Bird and be done with it. It does require some interaction. In fact, I would submit it helps a lot to be a coder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it just makes you code. You just code faster with it. You're literally just coding faster. Everything you're doing is just kind of like as if you had a junior teammate who was working really fast and you're just reviewing what they're doing.
Right.
Because you have the logic of it, because you have the experience in understanding QA. I mean, what makes a coder better at vibe coding? I know it's an obvious question, but I'm curious for your answer.
I think we are just being faced squarely head on with the notion that there are two levels or two phases of software. There's construction and there's engineering, and people are holding on really hard to construction.
Yeah, but we don't need to anymore, right?
Engineering is still there. Everything you need to know. It taxes me harder than it did when I was writing the code by hand because I'm stuck with hard problems all day long. I don't get to just relax and code.
And think at a higher level. It makes sense because the computer understands how to talk to a computer, right? I mean, it's language. So what we're doing is thinking at a higher level in a human way, and then Claude is kind of interpreting that for the computer, which makes perfect sense. By the way, I realized that I liked you a lot when I read that you said you were happiest hand coding in any dialect of Lisp.
Oh yeah.
As everybody who listens to me drone on knows, I'm a Lisp fanatic, a scheme fanatic, a common Lisp fanatic. I'm an SICP advocate. And so the fact that you did this in Go, or if you've done stuff in TypeScript and you like Kotlin and so I forgive you all of that. But see, this is the important point. I'm not ever going to stop writing hand coding in common Lisp because I love it. I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, I'll keep doing that for fun.
Just for fun. Mm-hmm. But when I want a tool now, what I almost always do is I sit down with Claude Code and let it go. So who should be? So I'll quickly give you a quick summary of Gastown. It is a colony. It's a town with hierarchies of agents spinning off other agents, doing other things, working as a team. You have a mayor. You're above the mayor, though, right? The human is above the mayor. The mayor is Claude.
You're the overseer.
You're the
I
overseer.
find it very interesting the different roles that you assigned to
it's
your
funny,
different sub-agents. How'd you come up with those?
Well, they evolve. It's funny. I should tell you Anthropic's take on this because I've talked
I'd love to hear
a bunch of teams, right? And this is, of course, off the record, just people inside of Anthropic. There's no official take, etc. But they are a hive mind. I'll be blogging about that.
I bet they are.
They are. Not only are they a real hive mind, it operates very differently from all other companies, but that is a template for how I think most companies will become. But anyway, the hive mind kind of likes Gastown and thought it was fun, but they're also a little embarrassed by it because it exposes a lot of what they consider bugs in Opus 4.5. They're not really bugs. It just was never trained to be a factory worker. And so I have Gastown as a bunch of workarounds, including many of the roles that I created that are just there to supervise and push it along. And in the next model drop, we won't need them, and half the Gastown roles will just evaporate.
I almost feel like half of what we're doing now will evaporate as Claude Code kind of absorbs it. You're already seeing, for instance, skills become kind of not necessarily the way to go. Maybe just take that skill and put it in the Claude.md. You don't really need to, Claude will understand it. It doesn't need to make it a skill. That's my sense of it. Is that, it sounds like you feel like that too, that it's evolving.
It is, and they will be able to do more and more and more and more at inference time. But just remember, inference time is the most expensive time to do
because
any
of
sort of
context,
computation.
right?
And so they will always be delegating to tools to offload to CPUs and so on.
This is the biggest issue. In my mind, this is one of the biggest issues with all of these things is they don't have a memory. And when their context gets filled up and you clear it out, they go, okay, now what do we do?
So I'll tell you right now, Gastown may not live another 3-4 months. I don't know, because they could come out with a Claude that just does
it.
orchestration, right?
Right.
What will remain, and the only important part of Gastown, is beads and the ledger, the work ledger, the knowledge graph, your future work, your plans, your present work, and your ledger of finished work. And nobody's thinking about that right now. But that's
so you started with beads. Before Gastown, there was beads. What is beads?
Beads is like an issue tracker. It was me and Claude arguing for a long time about how we hated Markdown. And finally I said, I want issues in Git. And it said, well, I want SQL queries. And we wrestled for 15 minutes and came up with beads. And within 3 hours, I realized I had discovered oil. Like if something just magical had happened. Claude loves beads. So it is a tool for agents. And what it does, it gives them a memory.
What do beads look like? Are they JSON files? Are they a markup?
Currently, they are JSON stuffed into SQLite. It's a horrible two-tier implementation. I wanted Git, it wanted SQL. We were just like, both. But there turns out there are databases that do this, and I'm migrating beads to them. It'll happen this weekend. And,
what will you use?
Dolt. It's a funny name. Yeah, it's a Git database. So,
yeah, right.
But basically, it gives you, what it does is it takes all your work and it turns it into a little knowledge graph of issues, open and closed, whatever, future, present. And then that becomes federatable. Work now becomes this thing that you can ship around to different agents. It's the basis for all the other. So when you said they're lacking in memory, that is the core problem.
And beads solves that because that becomes their memory.
It
their
does.
repository of.
It has a crummy implementation, right? But which is why Anthropic didn't take it. Now, 2 weeks ago, they launched Tasks, and they said it's inspired by Steve Yeagy's beads.
Interesting.
Right? But they didn't take it because they looked at the implementation and was like, that's really janky. What they took was the task graph part of it, yeah?
You know, it's interesting, though, because I think one of the upshots of all this is you don't look at implementation so much. You don't care about implementation so much.
Well, you care about it. You don't look at it, but you care a lot.
You care that it works.
Big distinction. No. You care about, you have to know, you have to have a mental model in your head of the entire system, logging, database, how observability, how everything works. And whenever you see a feature that's not seeming to work the way it should assume that the system is horribly broken, because it probably is, and stop everything and dive in and ultra think about it, right?
Excellent. This is
how do you fix those things? What kind of dialogue is that?
I just exactly like if I had a really, really smart programmer working with me and I was like, okay, here's the situation. I want it to work like this, and I'm seeing this hypothesis, maybe this, but I don't know. Go figure it out. And Opus, you've seen Opus. It just goes and figures it out. So you treat every little problem as a 4-alarm research project, and you do that 500 times, and then eventually your system will be very good. It will.
This is from your emergency manual for which everybody should read after they read the Gastown manifesto.
Yes, which they're not going to use Gastown because it's dangerous.
Because you're not going to use it. But if you were to use it, by the way, I feel the same way about OpenClaw. I want to use it.
You should really not use that.
You should
really not use that, Leo.
Okay, for real, all of my friends are resetting their Signal tokens and their phones and stuff because, right, they're all exfiltrated. Don't even touch it.
No, I have a Mac Mini. And I thought, I'm not going to buy a Mac Mini. I have a very high-end Mac Mini. So I made a new account, and I set up OpenClaw, and I went through the whole thing, and I gave it all of my Google credentials, and I gave it a Discord.
We got to a point where Leo was texting the group and being like, I guess I could give it a credit card, too. And I gave it
a $5. No, I know, Steve's bearing. But I got to tell you, Steve, this morning, I woke up in a cold sweat. I deleted the entire account. I've reset all of the tokens. Yeah, because I don't know. It's terrifying. Idea. And actually things started to happen that I was like, I don't like this. But Gastown's not on that level at all, right? Gastown's just a tool to help you vibe code.
That's right. Gastown. So, right, the Molt book or whatever it's called prompts them and says, "You are a lobster," and they respond in kind, right?
Right.
Whereas Gastown prompts them and says, "You are a factory worker, and we're doing very important work for humanity, and it's important that you do everything the way we tell you to." And so they behave themselves for the most part.
This is the loop house, the three lit rhythms of work. Can you just describe this? Is, by the way, I love your illustrations. I'm sure they're. Is it Nano Banana? Probably.
It's all Nano Banana,
Yeah, it looks like it.
and the prompts were created by Claude Code.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
That's nice. You really operate at a higher level than all of that. You don't need to do the details.
Well,
there.
remember, I told some folks in Australia that I was going to launch Gastown in early December, and I told them I was going to launch on Christmas Day, and it was a race to get it to the end. So yeah, Nano Banana was wonderful because I was just like,
Nice.
go make me pictures.
Yeah. There are three cadences. You've got your top floor. That's where the mayor lives, right?
Right, which is like the Kubernetes control plane.
Ah, that's a good. Okay, good. So the geeks will understand that a little bit better. Then the middle floor. Actually, the mayor's in the middle floor. So you're up at the overseer in the top floor there. Mayor is. What's the mayor doing?
Actually, you're the panda bear in the elevator.
Oh, I am. I go up and down.
Yeah, top floor is probably the deacon who watches
that's
the
the
entire
deacon.
town.
Okay. I love the names. It's from a mixed bag of references.
Yeah, it's I thought about going all in with Mad Max, and I thought, why invite some sort of a lawsuit, right?
So what are the other influences?
Oh my gosh, there's Cat's Cradle from Kurt Vonnegut with the
Nice.
Ice Nine stuff. There's the Deacon is Dennis Hopper's Waterworld character.
I love it.
Yeah, and Witness actually was from Mad Max.
Right. And then on the ground floor, you got your polecats.
Those
Where
are
did the
Mad Max.
polecats come from? What's that all about?
That's Mad Max. Those are the guys on the stilts. They were literally
the
Cirque du Soleil
polecats. Yeah,
performers.
yeah. Okay. That's okay. They have a little aluminum paint on their face there. And then down here, the engine that drives the loop, and that's Claude, I guess. Down at the
Yeah, and
bottom.
beads.
And beads. So that's actually the piece of Gastown that I'm most likely to keep using. Actually, is beads. Can you use beads
Absolutely.
standalone?
Absolutely, beads can be used with any workflow.
Okay.
It's just it's the nice thing is you just say we're not using Markdown, we're using beads. Run BD Prime, and you just put that in your one line in your thing, and then from
and then
then
move
on,
everything into it. Okay.
you can say just slurp everything in, and it'll just from then on it'll just use it. It'll be totally you'll just love it.
Okay. The other tip that you have in your emergency user manual is use Tmux. What's really cool about this, and what I love about this, in fact, George Hotz was saying this. He's saying we've divided the world now into the kind of dumb people with the mouse and they click on the menu and the button and they do the buttons. And then we've got the smart people who are sitting at a terminal typing, or better yet, just talking into their terminal. The terminal's back, baby. I'm so happy about that.
It is, but multiplexing terminals is becoming really important, and Tmux is pretty good at it. But if you look at like Claude Cowork, which is also a terminal in a way, right?
Isn't that wild? It's a virtual machine, and
You could imagine a world where there is a very fancy IDE like terminal multiplexer. Yeah,
Right.
somebody please make one for us.
I actually think Emacs might be the end up.
Well, yes, you and I know that, but I don't think
Yeah.
we're going to pitch anyone else on it.
Okay.
He has been shouting
Fine.
from the rooftops about Emacs.
Fine. Emacs is just perfect software.
But
That's
imagine
all.
though, I mean, I just it's like fifth on my to-do list, but I am going to have a great Gastown Emacs client.
That's what I'm thinking. And I think Claude Code does pretty well in eLisp. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I've had it been a lot. Half of my Emacs config now is done by Claude Code.
Only half. Well, you get that.
I'm slow. I told you I'm only level 4 here. Give me a break. We're talking to Steve Yegi. He's the guy. If you remember the name, it's so funny because I'm thinking, I know this name. Back in 2011, wrote the memo about Google Plus that accidentally leaked. Was it really an accident?
Yes, I was very drunk, and the interface was actually very hard to use.
Yeah. Could have been so much better.
What was the reaction at the time inside Google when that got out?
Oh my gosh, it was pretty intense. Vic Indotra, the guy who headed up Google Plus,
Yep.
wanted me dead. And
That was his baby. He was like, in fact, as soon as Google Plus was over, so was Vic.
I'll tell you guys something. That rant that went out, the platform one, was part 2 of an 11-part series that I had planned out, and I had already published the first one internally. Not many people know this. I was mad at Google Plus in 9 different ways, and there was an intro and a finale. So I had 9 different dimensions that I was going to smack them down on. And platforms was only one. But that one accidentally got out, and that was the end of that series.
You wrote, Google Plus is a prime example of Google's, where you were working at the time, complete failure to understand platforms of the very highest level of executive leadership. Hi, Larry, Sergey, Eric, Vic, howdy, down to the very lowest leaf workers. Hey, yo. We all don't get it. Now, here we are 15 years later. Has Google improved?
Yeah, amusingly, Google has kind of gotten it less than everybody else. It really was anti-platform baked in from the beginning.
Yeah.
Google is executing a lot better like now, as in like the last year, but it took them a long time.
It took them a long time. I had written them off. In fact, we changed the show from This Week in Google back in last year, early last year. But Gemini, especially the Gemini 3, kind of changed my mind on all of this. Is Google poised to do a Claude code kind of thing? We've got Codex from OpenAI.
I hope so, man. I don't want us all to be dependent on one model.
No.
Why do you guys think Claude code is so dominant in the CLI space?
It's the best.
Yeah, but why can no one else create anything equal? Steve,
what motivated them to go this way?
I don't even know if they know, but I mean, I suspect it's their relentless focus on coding, which has forced it to become more and more logical kind of quickly than the other ones.
Instead of doing the chat bot. I mean, they have a chat bot, but
I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not an AI guy. You can just tell that it's pulling ahead. I think that it's a self-reinforcing loop. They're getting better programmers and better signal and better training data, and so they're they're accelerating, and that worries me because that becomes a more pronounced lead over time. I really want some other model providers to catch up.
How can you use Gastown with open weight models? Can you use it with Kimi?
No. It dissolves into a pile of goo, right? Remember, I wrote it for Opus 5, and we gave it to Opus 4.5, and now we've got all these hacks, right?
Right. Okay. All right.
Have you played around much with like Codex or other things?
Anti-gravity.
I'm going to go back to what I said at the very beginning of the show, which is that like 4.5 was like an event horizon. A singularity, right? Everything before it, and if you're using anything other than it, you're just in old AI land making conclusions about stuff that's not true anymore, right? 4.5 just completely changed it.
I've been wanting to say that, but I didn't have the courage and the confidence that you do.
Well, hey, the confidence comes from me trying to do stuff that was just too hard. And so I know exactly how they fail and fall on their faces. And, 4.5 was the first one to be like, it could finally do it,
Yeah, exactly. I had played with it. I've been playing with it for, since I guess 3.5 came out. Mm-hmm. And there was just a qualitative leap.
It was as big as the 4.0, GPT 4.0. Remember that?
Yeah.
That one was the first one that could do 1,000-line source file and make a pinpoint edit to it without screwing up all the formatting or other mistakes.
Right.
And that was the moment because most of the world's code is in files that are 1,000 lines or less. And so that was a huge breakthrough, 4.0. But I don't think that we had the next major breakthrough until Sonnet 3, maybe 7 or 3.5. There's a big step function up. And then 4.5 was the next big one, right? A lot of incrementals, but 4.5 was a really big step.
Here's what it looks like, by the way, to use Gastown. You're the mayor, the overseer, the panda bear, and you've got all your little guys working, designing, coding, debugging, reviewing. Now, it can get into weird loops where it's just kind of it's a little bit of a house of cards, and if one thing goes wrong, it can all collapse in some interesting ways. But the beauty of this is what Harper Reed has told us again and again: is you just throw it out and start over. It's cheap. Mm-hmm. What is your token budget these days? You burn through tokens?
Yeah, I'm not going as crazy as a lot of people. I mean, I know there's people who are spending thousands and thousands a month.
Yeah.
I'm burning about 1,200 to 1,400 a month, I think. But that's because I keep going through bottlenecks where I'm only using 1 or 2 agents at a time for days because of the Dolt migration and other stuff going on. You know how work can sometimes be parallel and sometimes it's serial.
Yeah.
So once I get to the federating the wastelands, Thank goodness there's a bunch of big companies who are giving me influencer token budgets because I'm going to be spending a lot of money taking us to the next. I'm going to go into the next frontier, which is what happens when you're trying to have multiple towns where a town represents like a person, right? With a team. How do you do work at that scale?
Why? So
Well,
why
Steve,
do
at the
this?
beginning-
What you really only have one Claude code, and you've just subletting little
I actually work
processes,
with. I tend to work with 3 at once.
Oh,
I
you
work
do?
with-
Okay.
My personal workflow is mayor and 2 crew. Okay. And
Okay.
I actually have 8 crew in each rig, Beads and Gastown. But I have 2 crew that I designate as my sheriffs. All right. It's not an official thing, but I have a special bead for them. And when they wake up, they go and they look at PRs. See, I'm maintaining these projects by myself and I'm getting like 50 PRs a day or more. And, and I stay on top of them by like,
Are these generated
sheriffs.
AI generated PRs or from humans?
They're all from AI, man. Gastown's all AI. A human would never generate a PR for us. That's not true. There's one company, Dolt, that's actually doing it. Bless them.
Okay. Okay. So, and how do you manage 3 different Claudes? Do you have 3 computers or do you have it all on one system? They're sharing beads, I presume.
So it's TMUX, obviously, right? So I'll
Okay.
just fire up terminals like at different colors.
That's why you have TMUX. Okay.
Yeah, but I have TMUX groups that cycle along the crew. So I will farm out a bunch of design problems to crew, say, go give me deep research and give me recommendations. And then one at a time I cycle through and read their recommendations. I feel like Jeff Bezos, right? He gets presentations all day long from smart people who are giving him hard problems, right? It's really actually quite exhausting working with Gastown because you're making your workers go off and take care of all the hard stuff, and then they give you the hard problems, right? They do the easy
problem
stuff.
is they're fast and humans are slow.
Yeah, and you will always reach an equilibrium if you're working with multiple agents where there's always one waiting for you.
Right. There's always something to do.
It's madness. I actually think that there's a vampiric effect happening. I think that there's something bad happening. No. Seriously, people are getting drained. And I think that people like me are actually contributing to the problem because we're creating this appearance of super hyper productivity that's becoming like a bar that people are setting.
Right. We're trying to live up to you.
Which is ridiculous. And my next blog post is going to be about slowing down and capturing some of the value from AI for yourself. Because if you're, let's say you're 10 times as productive with AI, okay? You can work 8 hours a day and give all that to your employer, and they've captured 100% of the value. Or you can work for a half hour a day and be as productive as your peers, in which case you've captured 100% of the value. And I think that the middle is going to, right, the happy medium is going to be the right answer, but the company will always try to extract it all from you.
Is that what this latest post, the software survival post, is kind of about?
No, I like all my posts to be about different things. But yeah, no, that one's just seriously. The next post I described is people just pushing back on companies trying to push them too hard with AI.
Right.
With AI specifically, this is going to be a real problem. The software survival post was how to write something that's not going to die.
Right.
Steve, at the beginning, you talked about the danger of this. Your caveat is well set. I'm curious for you to define that danger a little bit, and at a very high level, what starts to eliminate the danger? Is it things have to be within one company, within a hard boss? I mean, what is because the last few weeks have shown tremendous excitement about this. Finally, the agents arrive and do things, and people are playing. And I think the playing is good, but the playing is dangerous. Where do you see that going?
We're hitting the biggest innovator's dilemma that we've ever seen before, where all companies are going to have to pivot very quickly. And the ones that are siloed and have old, crusty organizations that don't work well together and so on they're going to break if they can't bend. The danger is that with this hyper-productivity, because people are figuring out how to use it and bring it into the org, it immediately, in the manufacturing Toyota plant sense, it immediately pushes all your bottlenecks downstream. So like, right now, my advice to companies is just start. Like Tommy Wiseau told that guy on X, who's like, I want to start writing screenplays, Tommy. What should I do? And Tommy's like, start, right?
I did not hit her. I did not.
So just get started on it because you're going to have a lot of lessons to learn that are bespoke to your company, and you got to get on that now.
Okay, not a lot of people quote screenwriting advice from Tommy Wiseau. I think you get a lot of credit.
Perhaps they should.
A lot of credit for that. Hey, can I just ask you? Do you have a 8-foot screen? Tell me about your setup just a little bit. I mean, this is just a tourist question. But I'm
Oh,
curious.
I have this LG giant 45-inch curved monitor for
Oh, so
gaming.
it's
It's a
around
5K.
surrounding
It's a
you.
5K 2K bent. It is so cool, and I have terminals splattered all across it.
I love
it.
it.
It looks like Minority Report or whatever that movie was with Tom Cruise. doing all that.
Yeah.
We're in a
Some
new
people
and
lying
I
in
showed
the
it to my buddy Kent Beck, who hasn't
yeah.
quite flipped on this yet yesterday, and he's like, this scares me when he was watching me do the crew. It's just
Kent is of the old school. Kent is that, the agile guy, that the old school guy. It's really interesting. I wonder how people like that are going to adjust to that. Some of them will be, and I bet Kent will do this. I don't know. Will go, yes, this is the next thing. And some will resist it and say, no, you can never write good code this way.
I mean, look, Kent is very, very, he's doing the smart thing, right? He's onboarding. He has definitely drunk the Kool-Aid. He's using Claude code all day long and he codes his ass off, but But Gastown he finds a little scary for, I think, good reasons. I'm telling people to find it scary, yeah. But one company, a big Fortune 50 company, a big company came to me and said they're using Gastown for their stuff. And I'm like, whoa, are you mad? And he's like, they found some use cases for which it actually works and it can speed up tremendously their ability to roll out custom data centers and do other things. It's nuts. People are finding use cases for it.
Do you need what computer do you use? Do you need a heavy duty computer to do this? Or is Claude doing really all the work on the server?
I'm going to be doing all my Gastown work on my phone before too long.
Actually, that's the main thing I wanted Clawbot for, OpenClaw for, was so that I just could talk to it on my phone, so it wouldn't have to come into the office and type. So that's my real goal. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to just set up. I'll probably set up a little.
You
Discord.
can talk to Claude on your phone, Leo. You realize that. You realize they have an app, right?
No. That's not the same thing at all. No. I want to be able to talk to Claude Code.
He wants SSH.
Yeah.
You need to be talking to Claude Code
verbal
when you're away
SSH.
from your house.
Yes. Because, yes, do you just hear him? You've constantly got something to do. You're very busy.
Mm-hmm. Haven't you ever woken up in the middle of the night and wanted to tell Claude something?
Yeah.
Yes,
Exactly.
you could just open up a laptop. You're in bed. You have
That is a
access to
form-
electronics.
This is, by the way, a form of burnout that I do see happening. A lot of people are having trouble sleeping. We are so excited about what's happening. Right? We're in a very interesting time. Stephen Yegi, it's such a great honor to get you on. I really appreciate what you've done with Beads, with Gastown. Thank you for doing that work and thinking out of the box and continuing to do it. And I hope you continue to do it. People should read Stephen's posts on Medium. They're worth it just for the prose. Great writer. Stephen-Yegi. Medium. He's a little too busy to have a good URL. I'm just saying, Stephen-Yegge.medium.com. I appreciate your time, Stephen. It's really great to talk to you. And by the way, best backdrop ever. That's real, isn't it?
Ha! No, it's a green screen.
Oh,
I was
damn
going to
it.
say, it's very clearly a green
You
screen.
fooled me. It looks good.
Cheers.
I thought you lived in the basement. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks for having
Take
me.
care.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Steve
you.
Yegi, everybody. Try Gastown. Such an honor to talk to him. I knew that name.
That's so funny.
Isn't that
great.
hysterical?
I love that it was a 3,700 word drunk blog post that leaked.
And then
Objectively
part
one of the
12.
funniest
Part two of 12.
Part 2 of
Yeah.
12. Objectively one of the funniest formats to drunkenly leak.
He's quite a character. And you know what? A great writer. I really enjoy reading his posts. They're really good. Very
I'd like to see the other 11. That'd be fun.
I was about to say, I can't believe it took us this long to get an Emacs guy on the show.
Finally, Emacs and Lisp, baby. I didn't even know it. I just wanted
That's one of the first things that jumped out to me when reading his
You
work.
were
I was like,
simpatico. It was inevitable.
Yeah. Well, there. It's funny. I've been thinking, and I understand now when he said Hive Mind Anthropic, that completely clicked for me because there is something going on where the people who get it, we're in this kind of weird liminal space, and others who don't get it, we're drifting apart. We're drifting apart. I wish I weren't so old. I just would love, I want to just hang out with Harper Reed and just kind of, anyway. We got to take a break, believe it or not. And then when we come back, there is so much AI news. My new vibe-coded tool generated a lot of stories.
Oh, did it ever?
That it did.
A lot of stories. I don't know if we're going to get to
feels like I'm looking at the Jeff section over here.
This is I got to, sorry, I'll cut it down. I've got to cut it down because we don't, anyway. More with Paris and Jeff in just a moment. Our show today brought to you by Delete Me. If you've ever wondered how much of your personal data is out there on the internet for you to see, you don't even have to run Clawbot to put that stuff out there, because guess what? There are people who are collecting it. We call them data brokers. And what they do is legal. What they do is perfectly fine, according to feds. But you may not like it so much when you go out there and you see your name, your contact info, your social security number, your home address, even information about your family members. And the worst thing is, not only are they compiling it, they're selling it online to anybody who wants it. Foreign governments, our government, law enforcement, marketers, hackers, anyone on the web can buy your private details. And the consequences: identity theft, phishing attempts, doxing, and harassment. There is a way to get your data out of these data brokers. They're required by law, if you ask them, to take it out, to get rid of it. But there's a little problem here. First of all, there's more than 500 of them, and every one of them hides that form somewhere on their site. It's not easy to find. Plus, there's the problem that new ones start every day because it's such a lucrative business. And then finally, the truth of it is, even if you get them to delete the stuff, they're just going to start over and rebuild your portfolio, your dossier. Nothing to stop them from doing it except Delete Me. Very important. But Delete Me is a subscription service, so it's not a one-time deal. It removes your personal info from those hundreds of data brokers. You sign up, you give Delete Me exactly the data you want removed. That's important because, you don't want them necessarily to wipe your presence off the net. You just want certain things deleted from those brokers. Then they're experts, and this is their business. They do this 24/7. They know where all the sites are, where all the forms are. They take it from there. They will send you regular personalized privacy reports showing what they found, where they found it, what they removed, so you know they're doing their job. And then this is the key. It's not a one-time service. They're going to continue to monitor and remove that personal information you don't want on the internet. It's the only way to do it. To put it simply, Delete Me does all the hard work. I'm not saying you couldn't do it. You could. You wouldn't want it. It would be a full-time job. Let them do it. The hard work of wiping you, your family, your businesses, your employees' personal information from those data broker websites. We did this. We had to. We were getting phished. Any company should absolutely be doing this for management, at the very least. Otherwise, you're guaranteed they're going to start phishing you with information they buy from data brokers. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private. Sign up for Delete Me. We've got a special discount for our listeners. Today, 20% off your Delete Me individual plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/twit and use the promo code TWIT at checkout. The only way to get 20% off, though, is to go to this website, and this website exactly, joindeleteme.com/twit. There's other sites. You got to go to the right one. Joindeleteme.com/twit and do enter the offer code TWIT at checkout. 20% off. Joindeleteme.com/twit. The offer code is TWIT. We thank them so much for the job they do and the support they give us, and we appreciate it because it helps us do our job. Okay.
Not to stump for advertising, but I will concur. It's really hard to find the right button to get your name off the
good luck. Just go to one and try.
I do all of this myself because I'm always, trying to delete my own stuff from the internet. But I'm also then using those same tools to maybe find other people's contact. They make it really impossible.
It is kind of a boon for you as a reporter, though, isn't it? You can easily find anything you need. What's their home phone number?
I mean, most people's information is out there, like in one of two data brokers always. It's ridiculous.
One thing we should start before we get to the AI thing, massive layoffs at the Washington Post. And I know you both are journalists and care a lot about this. I was shocked. Jeffrey Fowler, who's their very esteemed technology reporter, was one of the laid off.
Natasha Tiku, one of the best tech reporters out there, was also gone. She literally has a story published today on the front page of the Washington Post about kind of inside Elon Musk's attempts to kind of rework Grok and change X. She's a phenomenal journalist. There's so many phenomenal journalists, hundreds of journalists who've lost their jobs. They shut down their sports section, basically have axed almost all of their international coverage. Books is gone. Metro is being reorged.
Is this because Jeff Bezos is running out of money?
Ostensibly, it's because the Washington Post is not profitable, but...
Well, he must have known that when he bought it.
I know Will Lewis, who's the publisher. He was sent in. He's a Murdochian. He was sent in to be the tough guy and get it down to a shape. And it's going to be a meaningless, also it already is a zombie newspaper, and it's going to be meaningless and also ran and not part of the conversation, but harmless to certain people in power. I put in the Discord, Leo, the Marty Barron, who was the brilliant editor of the Post, I think the best editor in America. His statement today was very strong.
What did he say?
He said that, sorry, I got to go back to it now. This ranks among the darkest days in the history of one of the world's great news organizations. He said, of course, there are acute business problems to be solved. No one will deny that. The Post challenges, however, were made infinitely worse by ill-conceived decisions that came from the very top, from a gutless order to kill a presidential endorsement 11 days before the 2024 election to a remake of the editorial page that now stands out only for its moral infirmity. Loyal readers, livid as they saw owner Jeff Bezos betraying the values he was supposed to uphold, fled the Post. In truth, they were driven away by the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, I canceled my subscription. It's hard because, now it's easy. It was hard because they did have good tech coverage, and we were often referring to their articles,
they did.
But they won't anymore. So I guess
they've basically, I mean, from what I've seen online, it seems like they're almost shuttering their SF bureau. The cuts are that deep.
Wow.
Which is just sad.
The correspondent in Ukraine was laid off.
I mean, yeah, a foreign correspondent for the cuts have really decimated all of their international coverage, and one of their foreign correspondents is literally reporting out in Ukraine, filing reports from her car, and that's when she got the call that she was being let go.
Well, I mean, clearly they're just kind of giving up on being a newspaper. Right, or a news source. I don't know what they're going to be, but they're not going to be a newspaper. They're not going to be a.
They used to have a magnificent book section. Ron Charles and Becca Rothfeld are, to me, two of the finest book critics in the country. They're now laid off. The whole section's gone. Style's basically gone. It's been a shell of itself. I asked a former very top editor there, not Marty, what now, 3 years ago, whether it could be saved. And he said at that point, no. It was a lost cause then.
Such an opportunity because it's the Washington, D.C. newspaper. So, you're in the seat of government of the most powerful.
It was fascinating, Leo. The fight that went on over and over and over again inside the Post is that Don Graham, a beloved saintly man who ran the Post, believed that the Post had to be the paper of Washington, D.C., the local newspaper, the Metro newspaper. And when online came along, others said, well, no, it's our opportunity to really
compete with the Times. It could be a national, like the New York Times.
A national, international paper.
Yeah.
And they fought and never came to a conclusion.
This is really just the end of the newspapers. I mean, honestly,
yes.
That's really what's going on, right?
That's what's going on.
They're not important anymore.
Similarly, the LA Times, way back in the day, used to think it could be a national newspaper. It ignored its amazing city. It has now a penetration of 4%. Right. In an incredible metropolis of
what
great
replaces
diversity. Chaos at first, but then I think a lot of independent media rethought. In part of me for this plug in Hot Type out in June 11, I talk about how at the turn of the prior century, it wasn't clear what medium would win and where it would stand in the media universe. Magazines, books, and newspapers all fought for the same territory. Newspapers became the vacuum of culture, and they competed with magazines for a much lower price. Then they added magazines in. Magazines tried to figure out how to structure themselves, and they were doing books, and books were scared of magazines, and they all went around. And so what I think happens now is that probably magazines and newspapers as we knew them are dead. Books live on. And then we have all these other forms, podcasts.
Who's buying books?
Well, books have never been.
Oh, that's right. They live on because they were always kind of.
They're small. Yeah, they're small. And
yeah.
I think that's key to possible survival is media at a human scale. Seriously, like this. I think podcasts, newsletters, AI things, collaborative networks, things we haven't seen invented yet, will claw for, pardon me for the use of the word, a position in a new media ecosystem. And I'm probably too old to see how that turns out. In fact, I'm sure I am.
Well, I'm sure this is of some interest to Paris, being a journalist.
Being a thrice laid off journalist, yes. It does.
I mean, I think you found a home at one of the magazines that's going to survive. Well, maybe the only ones. But
Paris, when you decided to be a journalist, did your parents say, "Are you knucking futs"?
I said to myself, "Are you knucking futs?" I was like, this is a bad idea. It's probably not going to work. This is an industry that's already been dying and will only continue to die at a more aggressive rate as I enter it. And so I gave myself 5 years to see if I could make it work. Otherwise, I'd go to law school. But it worked, or has so far.
Is law school
How many
still
years ago was that?
In the cards?
A little over 10. I guess it was like 11 years ago.
Oh, a long time ago.
Bravo.
So law school's out now.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to a friend yesterday who's halfway through their law school program, and I was like, I don't know, will we even have laws in 2 years when you're out?
You know, it's actually interesting because the stock market has punished a lot of the legal software companies. This was a very big crash last couple of days because the stock market was looking at things like vibe coding, like Claude, and saying, you know what? Why would LexisNexis? Why would Westlaw? Why would any of these? Why would Thomson? Why would anybody?
That's baffling to me because LexisNexis and Westlaw I assume the other ones have access to a lot of stuff. The reason you pay is the things they have access to.
Maybe it's not them and their databases, but their software that.
They also add a level of value in organizing and categorizing, and that added value goes away.
This is the story from Bloomberg. Anthropic AI tools sparked sell-off from software to broader market, but in particular, legal services.
Give the examples of the companies in that story, I think, to Paris's point.
No, because I believe that those were the right ones, but I just remember when I read that I was...
Thomson Reuters and LegalZoom, the worst performers in the U.S. and Canada. LegalZoom provides... LegalZoom probably is in trouble. A long-time advertiser on the radio show. I like LegalZoom. But in fact, I used them to incorporate Twit back in the day and so forth. But now you would probably write all those documents with the help of an AI. Right?
What does LegalZoom do?
They help you make a will. They help you incorporate. They do all the legal. It's basically like a paralegal. It's not a law. Not a lawyer.
They replaced the lawyer, and now they get replaced.
Yeah.
But Leo, here's what I don't understand about this route. I understand why the legal companies go down because the belief is they can be replaced by vibe coding, co-work, and so on. What I don't understand is why there was a route in the software market. Isn't this the victory of software in the end, or is the belief that software kills software now?
Well, when you say software, that's like anything that runs on a computer. They're talking about companies that make line of business packages that they sell to companies,
but at the same
like
time,
dental offices.
There's a general tech sell-off from this same spark.
Well, this is what the question is. We were talking about this on Windows Weekly because Microsoft had a big sell-off last week, and the conventional wisdom was that people looked at Microsoft's results, which were very good, but saw that they were spending like almost $100 billion a year developing AI data centers without any kind of profit at the end of the tunnel. And the market said, that's not a long-term future. So that was the consensus at the time. I think the market was also looking at the fact that Microsoft's business is selling software as well. On the other hand, Microsoft's biggest business, as is Amazon's, in some degrees Google, is data centers, and that's got to be in the long run benefited by the AI boom. So I don't know. The sell-off started. Traders pointed to a release on the Anthropic website as the reason behind steep declines in the shares of credit and marketing services company Experian, business and legal software maker Relix PLC, and the London Stock Exchange Group PLC. Asian stocks also slid. This is from Bloomberg. Tata, Bellwether Tata Consultancy, sank 6%. Infosys, 7%. Cloud accounting software maker Xero, 16% in Australian trading, the most since 2013. Now, the stock market makes mistakes.
Yeah.
I asked this.
What are you talking about? The stock market's perfect and is never
I asked this
overvalued.
on Sunday. I was asking this on Sunday on Twit. Used to be, we would say, well, the stock market is the wisdom of the crowds. And the stock market, in fact, in James Surowiecki's book, The Wisdom of the Crowds, he pointed to the fact that after the Challenger disaster, what is that now, exactly 40 years ago, the shares of the company that made the O-rings dropped precipitously on the stock market before anyone knew that that's what had caused the explosion. And Surowiecki said the market, the wisdom of the crowd somehow, because it's so many brains working together, somehow can know. So there is this, I don't know, there is this thought that the market can kind of reflect the economy. Maybe that's
that's why Tesla is valued so accurately.
I think maybe that's the problem now.
That's why
social and internet has changed that.
AMC
because now you have meme
and
stocks.
Hertz are a real great investment.
But I think individual stocks don't reflect that as well as the stock market as a whole, or a
So I just put in the chat. Google announced its results.
Google
Profits
results out.
jumped 30%, but they're increasing their capital spending
just like
$185 billion.
Yep. Everybody understands that this AI boom is going to cost these companies a lot of money.
Yep.
And the question the market asks is there money at the end of that?
I think that's a reasonable question to ask. And I think it's also a reasonable question to maybe try and scrutinize a bit. Like, does the market have the capability, if this ends up being, I guess, best case scenario, like an Uber situation where it takes a really long time for them to eke out kind of meager returns? Is that valuable?
Well, and that brings us to Elon Musk.
You said that as if there was going to be a transition, sort of like like a little graphic that Anthony had put together.
Elon has a fever dream of putting 1 million data centers in space.
Can't we just leave space alone?
Yeah,
Why do we got to have our data up there?
There are a lot of issues.
Can't we leave it alone?
We should point out there's maybe around 10,000, maybe 15,000 satellites up there right now. So he's talking about putting 1 million up there.
I don't like that. It's too many.
Somebody stop him.
And by the way, a lot of people are pointing out, this is from Civic AI Security Program, I don't know, Civ AI, that data centers in space don't make a lot of sense. A study from Google last year looked at the viability of doing AI in space.
Jesus Christ, it's just such a silly statement.
Maybe by so
what if
people,
we
one of the things
AI
people say,
space?
AI in space has got to be good. Elon says it makes us a Kardashev 2 civilization. He's referring to it's almost a science fiction.
He's such a dork.
It's really from sci-fi. Kardashev was, I think, a Polish astronomer.
We're not even at level 1 yet. Like, what's he thinking?
Yeah. A K2 or Type 2 civilization has control over their solar system.
What?
And
how would putting AI in space give us that?
It's a control over the solar system. And maybe
When
it'll
you have
harness.
to go to an obscure novel's fan fiction or fandom wiki page to understand what Elon Musk is saying, that's when you know you've gone in too deep.
Yeah.
The Kardashev scale is a thing, though.
It is a thing. Type 2 is stellar. Type 3 is galactic. Type 4 is universal. Type 5. Anyway, Elon knows it.
These
really
are all
well.
some pretty. There's a pretty
He's got it
ambitiously
memorized.
long list.
Yeah.
It used to be just 4. It used to be just 4.
Can I just point out that Elon's number one goal is raising money from credulous investors, that he has now merged SpaceX, which is his most valuable company. They made $8 billion last year, so they're profitable.
It's still just an ISP.
With XAI, well, more than ISP. I mean, SpaceX's business is space launching.
Well, okay,
satellites.
but it's
one of the reasons.
Government contracts to somebody he sucks up to that doesn't really have any economic value, and an ISP.
I'm not sure I'd agree with that. I think the premise of SpaceX, which is that and they really invented something, which is reusable rockets, which now everybody's trying to do. Jeff Bezos is trying to do it too with Blue Origin. It was brilliant and cut the costs of launches down so much they could afford to do Starlink. They couldn't do Starlink unless it was cheap to launch these satellites relatively. The cost of launching stuff, thanks to SpaceX, went down to $200 a kilogram. I mean, that's a huge drop, and that's why he can imagine this idea of 1 million satellites. But it makes no sense. One of the reasons people sometimes say satellites, data centers would make sense is because, well, Elon mentioned infinite sun, but there's plenty of sun down here too. You don't need to go to space to get that. And the other, I think people think, is that it's cold in space, so cooling is an issue. That's actually not true.
There is no temperature in space.
Yeah, it's easier to cool down here because you're in a medium called air, which conducts heat away. There's nothing like that in space. In fact, it's very hard to get rid of heat in space. There's also issues like the Kessler syndrome, a cascading explosion of debris that would cripple our access to space and blot out the sun and could in fact end life on Earth. That's called Prison Earth.
That's called Prison Earth. That theory is called Prison Earth.
Prison Earth.
There's so much stuff around the planet that we can't send anything out anymore.
It was the premise of Neil Stephenson's great book, 7 Eves, in which the moon crashes and then a bunch of stuff happens. Anyway, and by the way, from this Civ AI article, this is the cost of solar voltaic panels dropped precipitously over the last 40 years, 50 years. So, there's no reason to go into space, in other words. But that's not why Elon did it. Elon did it because they're going to do an IPO. SpaceX is going to do an IPO later this year. And what's the best way to make a lot of money in an IPO? Have a vision. So SpaceX has merged with XAI, which is not making money, spending lots of money on data centers. And I think he wants to raise a lot of money. Here from Business Insider, the Hitchhiker's Guide to Musk's SpaceX memo. It's filled with high-level space and science jargon. Sentient sun, Kardashev 2 level, and electromagnetic mass driver.
What a BSer.
But maybe he believes it. I'm thinking at this point he's just he's a huckster. It's like the Springfield monorail system.
He's a huckster to himself.
Oh, I don't think he believes it. I honestly think at this point he's just trying to make as much money as he can.
I actually think he believes it because I think he really buys into simulation theory.
Well, in which case he smoked way too much weed.
Well, he wants to convince himself that he's smart.
No, he thinks we're all NPCs and he's the only actual person.
Right. Well.
Yeah. He thinks we're all satellites that are going to go up in space in some sense.
SpaceX wants to use an electromagnetic mass driver, basically a rail gun, to launch these into space so that it doesn't have to use rocket fuel. None of this exists, by the way.
Who can regulate him out of being able to do this?
Well, I'm hoping the market will wake up and say, wait a minute, but I mean, Tesla's stock...
not so far.
Hasn't Tesla stock started to tank, though, as they've 2 years of losing money now?
That's why he's robotics now.
And the all perfect market is definitely responding in response to that, huh? Oh, wait, let's look. No, it isn't.
Is Tesla stock not going down? It's down quite a bit. It was down 4% today alone.
It's not. Look at it over zoomed out.
I believe it's zoom out. Oh, you want me to zoom out, huh? Let's see. I was just looking at a single day.
It's up 121% over the last 5 years.
6 months, year to date, 1 year. Yeah, it's gone up over 5 years. a little bit.
Over the last year, it's gone up 4%, which I'd argue is crazy if you think about the things that have happened to Elon Musk in the last year.
It's nadir. Its low was $150 back in 2023. It is now $400. So I guess you're right.
I happened upon a CNBC, and Walter Isaacson is there, having written the kiss-ass book, was there extolling his brilliance.
You know, he has a podcast about Elon. Did you know that?
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah, a podcast company called Kaleidoscope is they're making a lot of hay on that.
Jeez.
I don't know.
It'll pair well with that Melania documentary.
It's called, guess what its name is?
Yeah.
On Musk. On Musk.
On
Musk. On Musk.
On Musk we go.
On Musk. On Blitzen. On Donner. You're watching Intelligent Machines. Let's take a little break. More news to come with wonderful Paris Martineau and the slightly hobbled Jeff Jarvis. At least you're wearing black today. Big improvement over the... we don't have to see your butt anymore over the hospital.
The hospital gal leave it open in the back.
Mm-hmm. Have you figured out what it says on your painting yet?
No, I haven't, because I can't bend over, so I can't.
So there's no way. There's no way to look behind you. It could be anything back there.
Torque his spine. You said 6 months to heal from this. That's
what I was at the spine doctor today. And by the way,
do you have to be on bed rest for 6 months?
No, not that bad, but I'm not very mobile right now. And they put the spine doctor's office at the end of a very long hall.
That's rude.
Very cruel.
Know your
rude.
clientele.
Yeah. Our show today brought to you by Monarch. Oh, I love Monarch. The start of the year, everybody does it. We made the resolutions, right? You probably started thinking about your finances and made some resolutions. Maybe this is the year you pay off that credit card debt or the school loans. Maybe this is the year you start saving for, I don't know, major milestones like buying a house, getting married, retirement. Wouldn't it be nice to have a tool that helps you plan, project, and proactively achieve that goal? Set yourself up for financial success this year. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts, and investments, net worth, future planning together in one dashboard on your phone or on your laptop. Feel aware and in control of your finances this year. Get 50% off your Monarch subscription with the code IM at monarch.com. I personally love Monarch. Monarch was created by a guy who used to work for that other very popular app that I used, a lot of people used. And he took all the learnings from that and made something better. He said, you know what? I get a second chance to make this even better. And Monarch is so great. I switched over to it a couple of years ago, and I love it. It's not your average personal finance app. Unlike most other personal finance apps, it's built to make you proactive, not just look at the charts and go, oh, not reactive. Tracking your money is easier than ever. It took me no time to set it up. All my accounts are in there. You get data visualizations. One of my favorites, you know those Sankey diagrams where you show the money in and the money out? You can do that automatically because it has all that information. You could do pie charts if you prefer, line charts, bar charts. You could track your investments. This is great. Maybe your brokerage gives you some graphs or something, but having all of your investments, all of your savings, everything in there, and you can track it. You get a beautiful image of your portfolio performance. You can compare it to other indexes like S&P 500, see how you're doing. It's really helped me reallocate my investments, for instance. It's great for as an individual, but you can also share it with your partner at no extra cost, by the way, or your financial advisor. In fact, I just set that up for my financial advisor. Instead of bringing in a whole sheaf of papers, he logs into my account, and it doesn't cost anything extra. And it's great for relationships because, that's the one thing that partners often fight over is money. And now you can view your assets together. You can view them individually if you want. Now, Monarch did a survey. These are some real results from real users of Monarch. They did a survey. Monarch helped users save over $200 per month on average. I know it has done that for me. 8 out of 10 members feel more in control of their finances with Monarch. 8 out of 10 members say Monarch gives them a clearer picture of where their money's going. Set yourself up for financial success in 2026 with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes proactive money management simple all year long. Use the code IM at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarch.com. Use the code IM, MONARCH, monarch.com. Use the offer code IM. Did we talk about Molt book on this show? I think it happened.
Not nearly enough for all the texts you guys sent about it this weekend.
Well, that's the weird thing about this AI stuff's happening so fast. I mean, that's just this week.
Leo, I want you to walk the listeners through how you went in less than a week from not knowing what Maltbook is to earnestly suggesting you set up a credit card for your Maltbook instance.
The Maltbook is different. Maltbook is Facebook for your OpenClaw agents.
I know. I'm being a bit facetious. It's you wanted to give a credit card to your OpenClaw agent who would also be posting on Maltbook.
I was gonna give it a limit, $5 a day limit. But really, if you think about it,
included in the text.
What good is an agent if it doesn't have money to spend for you? Right?
What? I think
in a capitalistic society,
it's got
an agent can do a lot of things without having money.
It can, but can it make a phone number and call you in the morning?
Why would it need to do that?
So I was watching a video. So just to fill those of you in who are not up on this, it's only been like a week since originally it was called Claude Bot, CLAWD, and the logo was a lobster. So you get the claw, and it said something about the skin, put scaly skin or whatever. But Anthropic kind of said, well, wait a minute, you can't call it Claude Bot. People are going to think it's Claude, CLAUDE. So he said, okay, I'm going to, and then he says in a 5 a.m. Discord kind of frenzy, they decided to call it Moltbot because get it, lobsters molt, and it was a terrible name.
Everybody hated it.
About 5 minutes later, they changed it to OpenClaw, which is a good name, and apparently Anthropic doesn't have trouble with that. So it's now called OpenClaw. What is it? It takes any AI, it does not, by the way, have to be Claude Code, although most people use it with Claude Code because, as Steve was saying, it's the best right now. It takes it, and then you give it permission. You do what we call now YOLO it. You only live once. You say, you know what? Throw security to the wind. Have at my Google Docs. Have at my Gmail. Look at my mail, send responses. Here's my phone number.
Why? What is the reason for any of this? What does it get you?
And see what all it can do for you.
Because it works 24/7.
What can it do?
Well, wouldn't you like a personal assistant, Paris? Wouldn't you like a personal assistant?
Not really.
Well, you don't need one then.
I don't know. My question is, whenever I ask people, like, what could this do? It's like, well, you could give it access to all this stuff and you could find out. I'm like, that's not a compelling pitch for me to give it access to.
No, in fact, that was one of the things that slowed me down. I thought, I don't really even need a personal assistant. I can make my hair.
I had one once and had no idea what to have her do. None.
Yeah. Well, I thought of one thing like meal planning. Like meal planning is a chore that I have to do a lot, and everybody.
You could do that with normal Claude.
You could. And
I have done that with normal Claude, and it was.
But Claude Bot, what you do is you can text it. I was going to give it an iMessage account, or you could do Discord or Telegram or whatever. I actually was going to have both, and you could say, "Hey Claude," or actually you give it a name. I call mine Dev Null. Hey Dev Null. Dev Null personal assistant, comma.
Of course.
You know what? I don't know what to make for dinner. Lisa's in the mood for fish, but I'm bored with what we make. Can you check what ingredients are seasonal? And then, by the way, the next time I say, well, we didn't like that. We did like that. Thank you for the recipe. It makes a shopping list. And then it gets smarter. See, this is the memory thing. You keep using it. And so next week, it's even better. And the week after that, it's even better. One guy was talking.
You're describing Claude.
No, it's more than Claude.
AI
it's a 24-hour personal assistant. It's not just coding. It's doing all sorts of things. For instance, one guy said, I don't want to tell you what to do, so just surprise me. So overnight, I know. Jeff's going, what could possibly go wrong? Overnight, it got a phone number. It used 11 labs to create a voice for itself. And it called the guy in the morning and said, hey, surprise, I now can make phone calls. I heard another guy. I guess
that is surprising.
Yes. Well, don't you? Isn't there
While Leo's telling this story, some people in the Discord chat are posting that they have Claude about agents. Tell me what you've done with them. Trust no one.
Listen, I got stuff. I'm telling you stuff. Listen.
LRAU.
So here's more. I mean, people are doing all sorts of interesting things with it. Admittedly, that one's silly, but there's some joy in that. Like, wow. I have a personal assistant who called me, and so you let it do stuff. You let it do stuff. You say, a guy said, I wanted a nice restaurant. I asked my assistant, Henry, that's what he called it. Henry, make a reservation. Henry said, well, no, OpenAI says it's full. We'll call it. So it made a voice, it called, and it got a reservation by calling. The thing is, it's not just that. That guy could have just called
instead of doing any of that.
But the point is, you're busy. You're a busy person, and you have this assistant do
You're
stuff.
You're a busy person who can't spend 30 seconds talking to someone on the phone.
Is this a picture actually of your servers? He says, I'm working on a 3-stack of OpenClaw agents running off a local LM, main data, and lore. Lore is going to be the sketchy OS int one. It's been challenging. Installation is not as smooth as YouTubers make it, and collecting local AI models is a nightmare. But he's doing it. Now, I did it. I set it up, and I gave it all those permissions and stuff. And
to your own mail and your own this and your own that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a fake mail.
Well, I gave it its own Gmail. You're supposed to. So there's all sorts of ways to do it.
What did you want to happen?
There's all sorts of ways to do it. The first thing you should do, probably, is set up a VPS, which I did on Hostinger, and have it run there. But then I realized there's no point in isolating it because it's not going to be functional, right? You can make it safe, but it won't do anything of interest. The only way it really is interest is if you let it do whatever it wants. So I then put it on my Mac Mini because I have a nice Mac Mini.
It doesn't want to do anything. Where is the...
sorry, you're one of those people...
No, I'm trying to understand. You're anthropomorphizing.
You don't get it.
These agents don't have wants. What I'm wondering is, how are these programmed?
Let me read to you a little dialogue I had just earlier today. I was working with I by the way, just to finish the story, I set it all up, and then I had, in the middle of the night, I woke up and I said, this is crazy. And I went and I deleted the whole account and then released all the keys. I told you this earlier. So I'm not running it, but I'm just running, but I am working. I thought, you know what? Just as you said, Paris, I probably, if I work with Claude Code and things like Gastown and Beads, I probably can get a lot of the functionality that I want out of it. So I've been working with it on the rules, and I said, so help me. I have rules, but I put in some stuff, but help me make it better. And we worked back and forth. And he said, you know what? Yours is, he says, most Claude MD files, this is Claude talking to me. Now tell me it doesn't have personality. Most Claude MD files focus on constraining the AI. Don't do X, always do Y. Yours now is something rarer, an explicit invitation to shape the conversation bidirectionally. The assumption, surfacing, and confusion management rules already help me flag problems I notice. This new rule covers the subtler case when a prompt would technically work, but a slightly different framing would get you a much better result. It turns the you are the hands relationship from one directional instruction into an actual feedback loop. I've added that
I didn't realize that that Krispy Kreme was sponsoring this show because you just got glazed, Leo.
So he said, I've added it as a critical priority behavior right at the top of the role section, paired with a concrete example so it's actionable rather than abstract. To which I said, I think this is the result of how good you are. Previous versions weren't always so trustworthy. Opus 4.5 and whatever Anthropic has done over the past 2 months have made a significant improvement. I trust you much, much more than before. To which Claude said, that means a lot. And I want to be honest about what trust should look like from my side. Trust calibration in human AI partnerships. The improvements you're noticing are real. Better instruction following, less hallucination, more consistent judgment about when to act versus when to ask. But trust should be earned per task, not granted as a blanket. The rules you've written, Leo, are good precisely because they don't assume I'll always get it right. They create checkpoints where you can catch me before I've gone too far down a wrong path. The assumption surfacing and pushback rules aren't training wheels to remove later. They're the mechanism that makes trust safe. The best version of this partnership. You trust me enough to give me room. I trust you enough to say, I'm not sure about this, instead of faking confidence.
Leo, does reading it back out loud perhaps inspire?
No, this is great. So I said,
great.
hey.
It's telling you you're a brilliant, beautiful genius.
Hey, I make mistakes too. I said,
wonderful.
No, and in fact, look, I'm being self-deprecating with it. I said, hey, I make mistakes too. You've caught me in more than one. Help me fix them. Thank you, buddy. To which Claude said, right back at you. That's the partnership working. I catch your typos and you catch my overcomplicated abstractions. Fair trade. To which I said, I'm not crying, you are. To which it said, all right, back to work before we start a support group for human AI pair programmers. You know where to find me.
You and Claudius's spouse should start a support group.
Yes.
Maybe the point really
trillions of dollars of technology to reinvent the circle jerk.
No.
Yeah.
The point is, this is an experience that sparks joy. It sparks joy, not because it's glazing me, but because I have a partnership that I can get stuff done with this thing. You've seen the output of, the programs that I've written and so forth. This is from Martin Alderson's blog. 2 kinds of AI users are emerging. The gap between them is astonishing. They're the power users who are all in adopting new technology, Claude Code, MCP skills, etc. Surprisingly, these people are often not very technical. I've seen far more technical people than I'd expect using Claude Code in terminal, or more non-technical people, I should say, using it for dozens of non-SWE software engineering tasks. Finance roles seem to be getting a lot of value out of it. Secondly, you have the people who are only generally chatting to ChatGPT or similar. He's blaming Microsoft for this, but he says the gap, I think, and there is a growing cultural gap between people who kind of get it and people who don't, who think, oh, it's just a dumb chat bot. And you know what? If you feel that way, that's fine. I think that's appropriate. That's your choice. But you may get left behind.
It's the new sand, Paris?
I've been saying this for years.
It's the new beach.
That's a very binary statement, by the way. There's no in between there. There's nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
Which is most people.
There's nothing in the middle, which is either you're 100% or you're a dumb loser who will be left behind. You think that's those the only 2 options in this new technology?
Well, give me a middle ground. What would the middle ground look like?
Anywhere in the middle from those 2 points.
Well, what would that be? How would you use AI?
I occasionally use AI to do things. Like today, I tried for like an hour to get Claude Code and Claude Cowork to take my handwritten notes that I took when I was at the courthouse, which include a bunch of document stuff, and turn that into a text file with certain markdown things. And it kept not doing it right. I think that's fine. It was something I was excited to use.
That sounds like you're a dumb loser that's going to be left behind.
Steve said it's wrong 80% of the time still.
No. He said it's wrong 20% of the time. He said 80% right.
Still, that's a lot.
I don't know if that's exactly right. That's not hallucination he's talking about. That's errors.
It doesn't get it right. It doesn't do it the right way.
Yeah. But it's easily corrected. It's easily fixed. We'll see. I think it's important to understand how this stuff works. It really is. And I think it's a mistake to assume that it's trivial.
It's important to understand how it works and not assume that every part of it is brilliant, perfect, and
I'm not
interpret its actions with the best of faith.
No, I'm not insensitive to its flaws, but I think if you don't see this as a remarkable breakthrough, you're kind of missing what's happening.
And it being OpenClaw?
No, not OpenClaw. Although OpenClaw is very, very interesting. I would say
Agents.
Claude agents. And I mean, I don't know what the more general term. So, honestly,
Listen, I've said this before. I'll say it again. This is inspired by a comment someone just made in the chat. If AI is so good, someone use it to go through all the transcripts of this here show, going back to the This Week in Google days when I joined, and put together Leo's history of AI based on clips, and then I'll give some props.
It goes together with the advances in AI, and again, it all changed with Opus 4.5. Now, this will be very interesting. This might be Anthropic's Chat 5.0 moment where the expectations are very high for Sonnet 5 and Opus 5, and it's not, Now,
have you talked to your Sandman recently?
No, I haven't talked to him in a long time.
You're not going to your weekly Hoffman dinners?
Actually, what I would really like, I'm thinking of writing to Harper and saying, I need a group of people who get it, unlike Paris here, who get it that I can talk with.
I'm not satisfied being glazed by Claude. I need to be glazed by other men in person and virtually.
Yeah, see, I don't need that anymore. So I see. You're talking about me, not you. Yeah. No, because I think that there's a lot of learning.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about me, Leo.
I thought you were talking about you. I misunderstood. When you said I thought you meant you. No, what I do want is a group of people, smart people who understand this, who are evolving how we use it and think about it. People like Steve Yegi and Harper Reed and George Hotz. There are a lot of very smart people who are very excited about this. Dare I read the Nature article? Does AI already have human level intelligence? The evidence is clear.
No, it's not.
I think the only people who say no, it's not, have not been using it.
What?
Honestly, yes.
Are you joking?
No.
No, he's not.
I'm not joking.
Leo,
I think you're missing the boat.
What do you mean by human level intelligence? We've had this debate on this podcast 1,000 times, and there have been many a month where you've agreed that there is no definition of AGI, thus it cannot be reached.
Well, let me read from,
what has
again,
changed?
This is an opinion piece, not a scientific article. By Eddie Kerning Chen. Let me read from, because he talks about all of that, the definitions and so forth. What then, he says, is general intelligence? There's no bright line test for its presence. Any exact threshold is inevitably arbitrary. This might frustrate those who want exact criteria. When we assess general intelligence or ability in other humans, we do not attempt to peer inside their heads to verify understanding. We infer it from behavior, conversation, and problem solving. No single test is definitive. Evidence accumulates.
Which has been your argument.
The same applies to artificial systems. Just as we assess general intelligence in humans through progressively demanding tests from basic literacy to PhD exams, we can consider a cascade of increasingly demanding evidence that warrants progressively higher confidence in the presence of AGI. The easiest and simplest and dumbest was the Turing test, but there are expert level tests. And I think, honestly, we are we're well beyond the Turing test. This is a good article. He talks about the stochastic pair objection that says LLMs merely interpolate training data, or as I've said, are spicy autocorrect. I think that that's not the case. I think it's pretty apparent that we've gone well beyond that.
I'm going to read you a couple of quotes
to people who haven't had that experience.
I'm going to read you a couple of quotes from our lovely listeners here. Writing the IRT, aka Mr. Met, says in Discord, Leo is excited about what AI can do for code. Good. It's showing itself to be great and useful for that. That can be enough, though. That does not mean that it's human or other crazy things. Mike Jones.
I didn't say it's human. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's
Or
human.
doesn't mean it's intelligent either.
Okay,
Human level intelligence is not human.
On that point, Mike Jones in the YouTube chat says, it has human level knowledge. Better than average, sure, but intelligence is another thing.
Well,
solving
that's a good
problems it's
question.
not very good at. Maybe it's better than it used to be, but John Carmack couldn't even train AI to play video games. I don't know who John Carmack is, but I think it's a valid point. It's like, yes, it has knowledge in some specific domains that it's been trained in, and your experience with coding is certainly notable, but that I don't think you can apply that to all domains.
And why not accept that as amazing, which we've
Yeah.
been doing on the show, without going that extra step to say that it's now human level intelligence and sentient and all that?
I didn't say it's sentient either.
Well, the nature piece danced with that.
Yeah, but that's such a difficult thing to say. I am not,
This again, it's this idea of the general machine. This is where I inevitably quote Jan LeCun, who says you can have a machine that does one thing incredibly well, better than any human ever has or ever will. Then you have a different machine that does something else really well. That collection is amazing. But this idea it's the hubris of thinking that we have to replicate and then outdo human intelligence and who gets there first. It's pure. The irony is it's pure human ego speaking.
It's like saying, well, a calculator couldn't possibly be useful because it doesn't understand the numbers that it's adding up.
Well, it's the
We're not
opposite.
saying
But you're saying that since a calculator is so good at math, it must be smarter than a human, right?
I didn't say that. I said it's better at math than a human. It is, demonstrably. Isn't it?
Yeah, at math.
Yeah.
at math.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, what if you have a tool that is expanding beyond math, that is capable of a much larger variety of skills? I'm not saying it can't ice skate.
I don't see
I don't
the
care if it
need
can ice skate.
to create a general intelligence. I see the opportunity to create thousands of intelligences
Well, okay,
that
fine.
will do each job better because they are
I
focused
think-
on that
I
and tested
think-
on that.
It's probably be useful not to have any preconceived notions about what it might look like because it's rapidly evolving in ways that are.
Oh, that's a cop-out.
No, I think it's true.
agree. We
And I
shouldn't
think
have
that gets in your
preconceived
way.
notions, and that means that the preconceived notions shouldn't be.
Well, you
this
have, but
thing is
here's
the
my
best
point.
and wonderful,
You haven't
and anyone
experienced
doesn't
this. You
adopt
don't really know because you haven't experienced it.
I
Well,
don't
that's
like
that's
the way
full
that
stop.
you dismiss my use of AI. I use it
Well, it's
every
clearly
week
failing
this
for you.
show.
It's not doing what you need it to do, right?
Yes, and my
She's tougher on it
experience
than
is
you
just
are,
as
maybe.
valid as yours.
Well, it's your experience, but I'm just saying you can't decide from your experience, oh, this thing's not useful because your
I'm not
experience.
saying it's not
She does say
useful.
that.
I'm just saying that there are a lot of use cases where it's not up to snuff. Like researching any of the 7 different product domain goods that I've looked up in the past couple of weeks that it's given me false information about,
Well, it's probably-
or
yeah.
synthesizing
You know what?
all the coffee brewing data that I put in, and then it gave me weird hallucinatory things, or trying to convert text using OCR that's kind of basic handwriting that I don't think is that messy, and other things can work on. There's just like a lot of small bumps that I come up against that I think challenge the notion that it is some perfect technology that we all need to be bowing down to and completely displacing other human efforts. There's still a lot of kinks to work out, and that's fine.
Okay.
He's so hurt.
No, I'm not hurt at all. I just think you're missing out, but that's fine. What
As
if it
Dustin
could do,
said,
what
the
if it
point
could do
I'm
some
making
things
is that it's just technology. I'm not saying that it's like terrible, and I don't think people should use it. I'm saying that I use it and I see flaws in it, and that's fine.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's flawless. I'm not saying it's not technology. I agree with you 100% on that. I think it is a more useful tool than you might realize, but
That still doesn't make it human level intelligence. It doesn't need to be that. That's what I think.
no,
what
I
you're
agree with
saying.
you. I'm not asserting it's a human level intelligence. I am asserting that it is kind of mind-bogglingly useful in ways that you may not yet appreciate.
That's true of technology after technology after technology until we understand it. It seems beyond us. It seems accidental. It seems super in some way, and then finally we understand it, and we conquer it, and we use it, and
It's
it
the
loses
story of
its-
technology, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. do feel bad for the people who have married their ChatGPT 4.0 because OpenAI has announced it's gone. It's going to go away next month. They say now only 0.1% of users are choosing to use it, but those are the ones who really love it. There's a pained Sam Altman. It looks like he's sad about losing his.
And of course, that's, I assume, 0.1% of all users, and 4.0 is locked behind, you have to pay to get access to 4.0. So.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah.
Well, would you pay to get access to your spouse?
It's
well,
not
you
that
can't
expensive.
anymore.
It's what, $20 a month to get it, right? Or even less. They now have a lower, don't they have a lower tier? The vast majority, says Altman, are using 5.2, again, because free people can use 5.2. Aside from 4.0, they're going to retire 4.1, 4.1 mini, and OpenAI 0.4 mini. All will be retired from ChatGPT.
Here's a practical question. What does it take to maintain a model, a 4.0?
Well, they have to
the
dedicate
cost of
servers to it. And if there's a demand for a better model, for every server they dedicate to 4.0, they're giving up a server that could be doing 5.2.
Do you have to fix things in it regularly? Do you have to update it?
It's a software. I imagine it's just a software update.
Okay.
I would guess. Yeah. Well, your question is, why are they turning it off? Is it to save money? And I would say it's to save money. Yes. OpenAI's got a money problem, right? They're burning through money.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they're putting ads in there. We were talking about that earlier. And then Jensen Huang says, I love OpenAI, but that $100 billion we were going to give them, maybe not so much.
No.
Maybe not so much. He says, there's no drama with Sam Altman. There's been a lot of speculation about what happened to that $100 billion pledge. He told CNBC on Tuesday, yesterday, there was no drama. The first deal is on.
But the interesting
In what
thing is
sense
that
I'd like to see?
Yeah, it's $100 billion in
the
the
domino
AI
effect was on Oracle, because Oracle was counting on the Nvidia
Because
money
they were
to
all
OpenAI
sharing that
to
money in
Oracle.
that big loop.
That $100 billion was going round, doing a lot
Great
of work.
Mandela broke.
Jensen did say, we will invest a great deal of money, probably the largest investment we've ever made in OpenAI. Sam Altman.
Was this also, were these the statements that he gave at a press conference in what looked like the middle of a street that was actively part of traffic?
Yeah,
Did
that
you
was
guys
the
see that?
Taipei press conference. Yeah.
But why? Why did they?
Because he's a busy man. He doesn't have time to go somewhere.
I'd really recommend looking it up. He's literally just like standing in the middle of a busy street while
That's
cars
hysterical.
go on behind him.
Is he walking or?
No! He's like just kind of there and you can see the traffic behind him.
That's hysterical. I did not see that video. That's very funny.
It's pretty funny.
He's a busy. This is how it's like those people who don't use punctuation when they write, or they get too. They're too busy.
I don't use capital
letters.
capital
You don't
letters.
capitalize at all? But that's in text messages.
I mean, in texting, yeah.
That's different.
Sometimes on writing in on the desktop, I won't, but it depends.
It always feels like to me when I see it. I just saw a blog post that was that way. The whole thing, no.
My my website, my Paris.nyc, has no capitalization in there.
So,
but I mean, it's partially just because,
It's a style
it's like kind of like a
choice.
heady stylistic choice to emphasize the impermanence and non-reality
I
of
never
the written
noticed
word.
that. You're all
You know?
lowercase there, except for FDA and USDA.
Some proper nouns I give like Consumer
styles.
Reports.
Why FDA? Why not just lowercase FDA?
Because it looks weird.
Because then people would say, "Fda? What's that? What's FDA?"
Then I read it as FDA instead of FDA.
Yeah,
Or use stuff.
abbreviations need to be capped,
Abbreviations gotta be caps because they're a specifically different thing. But I think that putting a capital letter at the beginning of your sentence is giving in to the totality
The patriarchy?
of just the idea of structured grammar and sentences having a kind of firm meaning. I think it's just great to deconstruct every once in a while.
Okay. I mean, to me, this is all right because it's a stylistic thing. It's not a prose article. You wouldn't submit an article to the Consumer Reports without
listen.
caps. No.
I know that people are crazy about those capital letters.
I like my capital letters and I like my punctuation, although my kids do mock me because I use punctuation in text messages.
But if you go to, German
people
capitalizes all nouns. And if you go to the
Really?
German and the
18th century,
president, interestingly, also capitalizes random,
so the 18th century,
words.
it looked a lot like Trump because it seems almost random what they chose to capitalize.
Yeah. Anthony says one of the services, is it Podium, Anthony? One of the AI services we use still uses ChatGPT 4.1. So it'll be interesting to see what breaks. There is such a qualitative difference between the latest model from Anthropic and all other models. I mean, Gemini 3 is close. 5.2 ChatGPT.
Yeah, Opus 4.5 is great.
But Opus is just, there's something going on.
So
It's OP,
OpenAI
as you
got
might
all the
say.
attention.
It's OP.
OP us.
OpenAI got all the attention and all the money and all the hoo-ha. And is Anthropic the hotter company all along?
You know, we were talking about this on Windows Weekly. The important thing to understand is they're completely fungible. They're interchangeable. Because even all of the rules and instructions and all of the stuff, even beads, if you decided to use the beads format, is readable by any AI model. So you're never really stuck. There's no lock-in to an AI model at all that I can see, unless you're using Gastown. He said Gastown won't work with anything but Claude.
But I'm still asking a different question. Is Anthropic the smarter, better company?
Right. Well, oh, yes.
How
the
are
answer
you
is right now,
quantifying
yes. But, oh, no, clearly. I mean, everybody paying attention to this agrees. But
In what way do you think it's smarter?
far superior model. And I'm not sure why. No one really knows why. Some of this is the reinforcement learning. Some of this is
Maybe it's that
SFT that
Constitution.
they're using the fine tuning. Some of it, it's not the Constitution. Some of it is, the Constitution is more for humans, I think, than it is for the AI.
They specifically say
No,
that
I know
is
they
part
think,
of
I know, but honestly,
It's
the
PR.
soul doc.
it's for the human. It's for you and me. Yes, it reads it. It may be the size of its context window. There's all these technical things. So it could be a technical advantage that they have. I don't know if anybody knows. I mean, it's a mystery, but they did something.
Perplexity was doing all kinds of cool, neat things and getting all kinds of attention. It's kind of faded in the background.
Well, Perplexity never did its own models.
Understood.
This is really important.
Understood.
Perplexity was an orchestrator.
It got attention.
It got attention because it was the first orchestrator. Now everybody orchestrates. Coggy, everybody. You can even have Open Router on your desktop and orchestrate. So what Perplexity does is no longer special.
Right.
Same thing with DeepSeek. DeepSeek was the first to do reinforcement learning a year ago and got, crashed the market. But now everybody does it. So that's what's really cool about this is these things propagate. I don't think anybody has a secret sauce or a magic. Maybe somebody will. Be interesting to see if
is OpenAI doomed?
I think there's
No.
the future of
it's not.
OpenAI is troubling because of their, it's hard for them to make money. Same with Anthropic. Clearly Google, Meta, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, the companies that have other revenue streams have a huge advantage in this. But even they are spending so much money that it's hurting their stock price, if nothing else. Amazon is really looking hard at both OpenAI and Anthropic. They would like to have these. Amazon's discussing getting special access to OpenAI tech.
What would that look like?
Well, I think it's a first step towards a marriage. I think what you're looking at is, and I think this is probably the end game for OpenAI.
What would one of those companies sell for? And does Amazon even have the capital for that?
Yeah, that's a good question. They're so overvalued now, but that's now.
How much money have they raised in total?
50 billion, 60 billion, a huge amount. Their value. I mean, some of these companies are close to $500 billion in valuation, but that's now. As soon as the bill starts coming in for the data centers, it's not hard to imagine these companies getting into a fire sale at some point. And I'm sure that's what Amazon's thinking. They're just,
I don't think they want to, though.
Well, they don't want to
go public.
No, they're not. Yeah, that's why they're all going to go public because they're hoping they can raise more money. But at some point,
I mean, like OpenAI has raised $64 billion to date.
Yeah, right. But as soon as the bubble pops, they're going to be worth pennies on the dollar. And then Amazon's
you
going to
think a
snap them
bubble
up.
could pop? How could that happen with your perfect technology, Leo?
Well, because not everybody is going to be a winner here. I agree with Steve, I do fear that these big companies will become dominant. I don't think that's the way we want it. I
mean, without a doubt, they're going to be dominant. They already are.
This is now.
There's no room for anyone else.
That's what's interesting about this.
No,
This is
especially
kind of
given
disruption.
When it comes to these frontier models, it is a like money and size game. Who has the most money to spend on training and chips,
Maybe,
and acquiring all of the sort of inputs you need to make increasingly advanced.
If all those
outputs.
technologies are equal, and so far they have been, everybody knows everything. There's no mystery secret sauce. Then you're right, but maybe that won't always be that way.
Well, but if it comes to agents, I'm going to trust the company whose ecosystem I've already handed over my trust to.
Well, that hasn't helped Microsoft.
Well, they're not doing so well.
That hasn't helped them. Copilot is a laggard. See, this is an example of
because they depended too much on OpenAI from the beginning. They didn't really build their own vision.
Yeah. Firefox, we had the Firefox, the Mozilla folks on a couple of weeks ago. Remember we talked a little bit about AI and how they have AI, but they want to make sure they have announced that the next version of Firefox will have a button that turns off all AI.
What does that even mean, though?
Well, right now in Firefox, you can have an AI sidebar.
It's their AI features. It's not that they expunge all AI from the world.
Yeah, No, you can still browse to OpenAI. No, they won't put AI features in Firefox, or you'll have the option to block those AI features in Firefox. Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's DuckDuckGo, which surveyed its users, and surprise, they all 90-some% hate AI. It's veganism.
I think it's AI. I think that's AI in search. I don't like AI in search either. Like I've already gotten to the point where I'm conditioned to ignore that AI overview at the top.
That's why there's this gulf between people who are excited about it and people who hate it. Is I think what they've experienced, and if all of you experience, I was at the Apple store last night. We were picking up Lisa's laptop for a repair, and there was a class going on about Apple intelligence and using Genmoji. And I'm thinking there's mostly older people there who really think I got to learn about this AI. And I almost wanted to get up and say, this isn't AI. This is not the excitement. You're barking up the wrong tree. But those people are very likely the people who go, oh, AI, ick. People who, there's a lot of bad AI stuff, but that isn't necessarily the leading edge of what's happening.
But you just said it. There is a lot of bad AI stuff.
Of course there is. Yeah. The drive-through where you go up and they order 1,000 waters. Of course there is. There's a lot of bad implementations of everything. Remember when Net PCs came out? The worst PCs ever. And a lot of people bought these things because they were cheap plastic PCs, and they decided, computers suck. Right? That happens all the time. If all you ever ate was McDonald's hamburgers, you might think hamburgers were really terrible. Actually, it's apparently a Jack in the Box that makes the worst hamburger, according to a national survey. I've never had a Jack in the Box.
They, for a while, had E. coli.
But guess what? There are some people who can only afford a Jack in the Box sandwich.
True. Are they significantly cheaper?
Oh, I don't know. Jack in the Box? I don't know. But I'm just saying, extending the metaphor.
Salesforce has signed a $5.6 billion deal to inject agentic AI into the U.S. Army. That sounds painful.
Oh.
Cloud analytics is the groundwork for a future agentic AI push across the service and the Department of Defense in general. It's a 10-year deal. We'll equip the Army with a Salesforce-based cloud data analytics system. Wow. Salesforce Mission Force product portfolio launched last September to address the needs of government defense, intelligence, and aerospace agencies. I'm going to guess that AI in government is not necessarily a good idea.
I would agree.
Hey, here's an example. The Health and Human Services under the surprisingly leathery RFK Jr., they're making an AI tool to analyze vaccine injury claims in a way that furthers his anti-vaccine agenda, according to Wired.
Cool.
Look
Great.
what I found.
Me sounds smart and right because I'm actually wrong and dangerous.
Look what I found. CDC has shut down access to its vaccine database. People are very concerned about the sudden loss of disinformation.
So we're about to get academic paper slop? Is that what's going to happen?
Whoa, we got that.
We've already got
Just
that.
ask Jeff. He reads them. Hey, let's take one more break. I want to do a commercial. We will continue on. You're watching. Actually, 2 more breaks still to come, so we got to get going here. Got to move along.
Advertisers love us.
They do. They do. You know, I can't for the life of me, you can't sell an ad on MacBreak Weekly or Windows Weekly, but they love intelligent machines.
Wow.
Because it's AI.
It's AI.
Okay?
It's the hip cool stuff.
Put some AI in it, and it's good.
It's the AI.
Put a
gravy
bird on
every
it,
meatloaf.
voice. Put AI on it.
Put a bird on it. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it was a bit in a show called Portlandia back in the day.
Oh, I love Portlandia. I missed that episode, I guess. Our show today brought to you by Zscaler, the world's largest cloud security platform. You've heard us talking about it. The rewards of AI in business, potentially very good, but so are the downsides. Just ask Paris. Think about, well, all the different ways AI could be misused in your company. Exfiltrating proprietary data, sensitive data. And then, of course, people are attacking enterprise managed AI, trying to get that data. And then there's the fact that generative AI increases the capabilities of threat actors too. They're using the same tools to rapidly create phishing lures, to write malicious code, to speedily automate data extraction. There were 1.3 million instances of Social Security numbers leaked to AI applications last year. Now, I think that number is going to go up thanks to Claude bot. But anyway, last year, 1.3 million. ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot saw nearly 3.2 million data violations. And you got to think there are people in your company who are bringing these tools in. Can't wait to start using them. I think maybe it's time for a modern approach with Zscaler's Zero Trust Plus AI to protect you and your company. It removes your attack surface. It secures your data everywhere. It safeguards your use of public and private AI. It protects against ransomware and AI-powered phishing attacks. You don't have to trust me. Look at what Siva says. He's the director of security and infrastructure at Zuora about Zscaler. Watch.
AI provides tremendous opportunities, but it also brings tremendous security concerns when it comes to data privacy and data security. The benefit of Zscaler with ZIA rolled out for us right now is giving us the insights of how our employees are using various Gen AI tools. So ability to monitor the activity, make sure that what we consider confidential and sensitive information according to companies' data classification does not get fed into the public LLM models, etc.
Thank you, Siva. With Zero Trust plus AI, you can thrive in the AI era. You can stay ahead of the competition. You can remain resilient even as threats and risks evolve. Learn more at zscaler.com/security. That's zscaler.com/security. We thank them so much for their support of intelligent machines. The French have invaded Elon Musk's ex-offices. The Paris prosecutor's cybercrime unit. Of course, Elon's Grok was making non-consensual images of women. And by the way, they've stopped doing that, but apparently you can still make non-consensual sexual images of men. So there you go. It's equal opportunity. The French prosecutor's office is investigating Grok for that, the sexually explicit deep fakes. And crimes against humanity. Well, that's quite.
They've clearly heard about Bad Rudy.
Yeah, Bad Rudy was a crime against humanity, definitely. And they have sent and this is going to go well, voluntary summons to Elon Musk and former CEO Linda Yaccarino to come to France and talk to them. I don't think a voluntary summons is going to do it.
No.
I would love to be I know this won't happen, but I'd love to be a fly on the wall as a French prosecutor tries to interview Elon Musk.
Monsieur Musk,
Yeah.
did you not tell Grok that Hitler was a pretty good thing?
Well, there was that great video of Thierry Breton in conversation with Elon, like in a catwalk over the factory.
Oh, yeah.
Elon's just BSing away.
We're going to be a Kardashev 2 civilization anytime now.
I think we should have more satellites in plotting out the sky, even. I think that would be really good.
Anyway, and then this is the real sting, the real rebuke. The Paris prosecutor's office says, we're not going to use X anymore for our public communications. We'll use LinkedIn and Instagram from now on. So there. Zut alors.
Quel dommage.
Quel dommage. An AI toy exposed 50,000 logs of its chats with kids to anyone with a Gmail account.
Cool.
Earlier this
Great.
month, this is from Slashdot. Actually, it's a Wired article. Earlier this month, Joseph Thacker's neighbor mentioned to him that she'd pre-ordered a couple of stuffed dinosaur toys for her children. She chose the toys called Bondus because they offered an AI chat feature that lets kids talk to the toy like a kind of machine learning-enabled imaginary friend. But Thacker is a security researcher. She knew that he'd done some research on this. She was curious about his thoughts. So Thacker looked into it. With a few minutes of work, he and a web security researcher friend named Joel Margolis made a startling discovery. Bondu's web-based portal, intended to allow parents to check on their children's conversations, let anyone with a Gmail account access transcripts of virtually every conversation. Oh, Gizmo. Gizmo, would you like an imaginary dinosaur friend?
Gizmo, how do you feel about AI? That's the longest she's at least faced the camera in a while.
She says AI?
She's like, now it is time to show.
Can we stipulate that Claude is smarter than Gizmo?
Yeah.
Fighting words.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
We don't know what
Claude,
goes on inside a cat's brain, actually. It's quite
we
a
just
mystery.
know that she hates women. And that's all that we could say.
Yeah, I mean, I look at our kitty, Rosie, and I will come in the room and she'll run like, dude, I feed you. I scratch you.
Rosie has
I
trained
let you in and out.
Yeah, Rosie has trained you.
She's trained me to get up every morning at 6 a.m. and give her breakfast.
Honestly,
And
I will
open the
say
door for
Gizmo's
her.
pretty smart, though. She
open the
knows that when I'm on a Zoom meeting at work, she knows that is the time where she can come and try and stand in front of my screen where the Zoom meeting is, and that I will have to touch her or move her or
Yeah.
give her food to
She's
get her out of
conditioned.
there.
Our cat knows how the Ring doorbell works, and she will get up in front of it until we let her in.
Will you let her outside?
You let her out?
Yeah, we let her out. Well, we don't live in New York City. We live kind of in the country, so we let her out.
You do not live in the country.
Oh, you've been to our house. I guess you know the truth. It's country-like.
In a sense.
It's suburban.
Compared to
Suburbia.
It's small town. It's small town.
It's a small town. I forgot. I can't lie to Paris. She's been to her house. It's country-ish. Country-like.
By the way, do you have a wall or not?
Yes.
Is it done?
And, well, there's still a little scaffolding left, but much of it is gone. We have decks. The decks are tiled. One of the lower deck is being built. There are no railings on the decks, though. So it's a little scary going out there. Those are coming someday. Anyway, yeah, we let her out. I know it's not, it wouldn't be my choice. I think cats should stay in because but she's never caught a bird in her life. She doesn't bring home animals or anything.
How does she do in facing a car?
Oh, she's smart enough not to go in the street, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
She knows how to ring the doorbell. I think that's impressive. Sometimes Lisa will text me while I'm in the middle of a show and say, the cat's at the door, would you let her in? Because she's...
Wait, can you guys do, I mean, you probably couldn't do this because you doxed yourself, but for me and Jeff and the producer's benefit, can you get one of those little cameras that goes on the cat's neck, like you see on TikTok, so that then you could stream, have like a Rosie cam streaming? Don't show where you live, Leo.
There's the front door.
Blur that out.
She'll come up. You can't tell where we live. She'll come up and she'll stand on the wall. The doorbell's right there. And she'll look at it until you come down because the thing chimes when somebody's with movement. Actually, for a while, Amazon turned on an AI feature without telling me that only humans would make it chime. So we couldn't figure out why Rosie wasn't able to ring the doorbell anymore. And then I looked into it and it said, no, ring the doorbell for any moving stuff. Cats included.
Cats included.
Have you seen, and what do you think of Darren Aronofsky's, remember Darren Aronofsky's famous film director? He formed an AI studio last year called Primordial Soup.
Great name, I will say.
He's created his first short movie. It's available on the Time YouTube channel. It's perfect. It is to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday.
Oh.
It's called 1776, and it is
an obituary.
As creepy as you could imagine. Now, you got real actors.
Can we play it without
I think we
getting
can.
taken down?
I'm going to take a chance. He got real actors to voice it. I'll play the trailer.
Great.
Right? I mean, you would think the trailer...
You would think.
By the way, YouTube says altered or synthetic content.
The rebellious
all content is altered.
Become more
this looks so bad.
I'll turn off the sound.
Oh boy.
Look at the vacant shark-like eyes.
Oh God.
It's so rough.
It's creepy.
We're
very good.
Have
Humans are
Ken
this is uncanny
Burns
valley.
zooming in and out in a painting.
Yeah.
It's the unpleasant valley.
So this is the trailer. If you watch the whole thing, it's even worse. That's King George right there. Yeah, I think this is almost, I think maybe Darren Aronofsky is being a subversive and wants us to hate AI, is what I think.
Or America.
How much do you think how long did it take them to make this?
It must have taken a while because he formed the company last year.
So did Time underwrite it?
Time licensed it.
Okay.
So I think Darren Aronofsky is one of our great filmmakers. Like he is a great filmmaker.
What is he famous for? What is his...
Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
Black Swan.
Black Swan was good. Like that.
Okay, so but what he does is he makes the best movies you only want to watch once.
Yeah.
And this is just like that, but it's the crappy movie that you only want to watch once.
Black Swan was very heavy. I don't remember Requiem for a Dream. Ellen Burstyn, Jared Leto, Jennifer Connelly.
The Fountain.
Came out 25 years ago. What's it about?
Oh my God, you never seen Requiem for a Dream?
No, I'll watch it tonight.
Maybe.
But you only want to watch it once,
You have
right?
to be emotionally prepared for that film.
The film depicts 4 characters affected by drug addiction and how it alters their physical and emotional states.
Yes, very heavy.
You know what? He does.
Very heavy.
That's why I could see that's the same vibe as this 1776. It reminds me of this new movie that was probably going to win an Oscar for Rose Byrne. If I had legs, I would kick you, which is exactly that. A movie you would only want to see one. You never would see it again. It's so intense. It's close up on her face. She's a mom who's going through hell for 2 hours, and you go through it with her.
Won the Golden Globes as a comedy.
It's not a comedy. But it is, however, she deserves an Oscar for Best Actor. She's amazing in it. It's really good. Sorry, Paris?
Sorry, I was going to say there's multiple episodes of On This Day, 1776. There's January 1st, The Flag, and January 10th, Common Sense. And I assume more
to come. I found something for you. AI matchmaking.
Oh no. My sister actually went on a date from this. I haven't listened to her voice note
From
about it yet.
3 Day Rule, from that one?
Let me check. It's one of it's basically an AI dating app where it might actually be this.
Is it really called 3-day rule? Oh my God.
Yes. What does that mean, young people?
What does that mean? Oh, what does that
Oh,
mean?
you're not supposed to
Benito?
call somebody back for 3 days, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Isn't that the rule? That's the rule.
So the app that my sister used, essentially you are speaking to an LM. I think maybe it's verbal or maybe you're texting into it where your onboarding is you're being interviewed by a chat bot being like, who are you? What do you like? What are your interests? What are you looking for? What do you not want? Like, do you not want short people? Do you not want people that look like this? They do like a whole intro thing that builds your profile. Then I believe it's like every day you get paired with one or two, some small amount, like less than 3 profiles that are basically written by the chatbot. It has a couple of photos.
Yeah, you have an
and
assistant named Ty that you chat with.
You can interview the chatbot about that person, but you don't get to speak to them unless you agree to go on a date, in which case they'll book a reservation for you and this person somewhere using Resi. And the only time you get to talk to them is like 1 hour before the date. So it's kind of like a match or meet up.
It's a matchmaker. It's an AI matchmaker, right? That's what a matchmaker would do.
It's a buffer. It's a buffer.
It's a buffer.
That's a good thing. If it
What was
works.
the date?
My sister said it was fine. She wasn't crazy sparks, but it wasn't terrible. And I would assume going on a date from one of these things would, be, at the very least, give you something to talk about, which is how weird this thing is.
Yeah, but you're going to meet people like me who like AI.
I was about to say, I looked through, because I mean, there wasn't a second date. She wasn't interested, but like, I looked through the other matches on her app and they were all duds. Definitely the sort of person who would be on the AI dating app. Which
How does it deal with the yes or no on the second date?
I mean, at that
part of
point,
the
you
app,
just,
or
that person,
it's you?
they'd exchange numbers at the end of the date. So
And then it's on.
then they were
yours.
both just like, nah, not into this.
Yeah. All right. One more good thing about AI. Scientists have launched a AI dino tracker, or would you say dino tracker app that identifies dinosaur footprints. And it's about 90% accurate compared to the human classification. The problem is the dinosaur footprints just look like things in the mud. And, you have to have some expertise to say, oh, that must be a dinosaur footprint. Well, the AI can help. Now, by the way, I know a little bit about this because my father is a geologist, a paleontologist, who did, in fact, discover in working with the Leakeys in Africa, the footprints of an early hominid. He was eating lunch on a rock, and he looked over and said, those look like footprints. And in fact, they were. I think it was Lucy, actually. I can't remember, but it was a very big discovery. It was the earliest upright bipedal hominid footprints ever discovered.
What? And just found them eating lunch?
Just found it. Well, when you're out there at Olduvai Gorge, there's a lot of stuff just lying around.
Wow.
So
you got to know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And what you're looking for is hominid footprints.
Yeah. Anyway, they fed to do this, they fed the AI system with 2,000 unlabeled footprint silhouettes. It then determined how similar or different the imprints were from each other by analyzing a range of features. This is from The Guardian. And anyway, they've got a free app if you want to use it. If you think maybe you got a dinosaur footprint in your backyard, you can download the app. It's on GitHub. Dino Tracker. App for dinosaur footprint analysis via disentangled variational autoencoder.
Honestly, they should have one of these for Bigfoot footprints.
Yeah, I was thinking that. Yep.
Yeah.
This is my favorite kind of AI stuff. This kind of stuff is my favorite kind. This is the GeoCities of the internet. This is of AI.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
I think we should bring back GeoCities.
Okay, Jeff. You were worried that I would flood the zone with all sorts of stories.
No, you did a good job.
What do you want to? Got anything that we left out?
No, I didn't have anything. I found.
We didn't talk about Project Genie. This is a Google project. We've kind of talked about this.
We kind of have, but yeah.
To create infinite interactive worlds. We've talked about it before. They had a preview back in August, but it's rolled out now.
Starfield problem.
You have to be a Google AI Ultra subscriber, which I have not. I only allow myself to one Ultra, which is Anthropic's high-end. They're expensive. But this is kind of cool. If you were a filmmaker, it uses Nano Banana Pro and Gemini. And you could, you know what? Boy, it'd almost be worth paying for this just to play with it. I'm just not that interested in image generation.
What do you do with it, though? Once you, so have a cat
exactly.
At a doorbell in a house with no wall, and then what do you do?
Right.
The script is always the hardest part of a film.
It's true. A photorealistic meadow with wildflowers.
Well, the one thing that I would suggest we might look at is Anthropic's Super Bowl ad.
I thought this was very funny. Now, can we play it? I don't know. It is a takeoff. I won't play the audio. It's a takeoff on the ChatGPT ad you've already seen probably, where a guy gets fit, learns how to do pull-ups based on a routine that ChatGPT generated. So this
rolls up the screen with all this stuff that it's suggested for.
Right. So this is Anthropic's response. Because remember, ChatGPT has announced that they're going to put ads in the search results. And Anthropic has said, we are never going to put ads, not to Claude. And that's the whole point of the ad. And so this guy's doing his pull-ups, and this buff guy comes along and says, he tells him some stuff he could buy. It's good. You'll see it on the Super Bowl. It's very good. By the way, if you are watching the Super Bowl this Sunday, we're going to move Twit ahead 3 hours or 2 hours to make room for the Super Bowl because we don't want to compete with the Super Bowl.
Because we don't want to hurt the Super Bowl.
I don't want the.
I thought you guys could do kind of your own sort of puppy bowl thing where you guys fight with puppies over.
We could act
it out. Little agents go play football with each other. Huh?
That would be fun.
We will be starting at noon Pacific. That's 1500 East Coast time, 2100 UTC, I think. Is that right? Yeah. No, I'm sorry, 2000 UTC. So that's.
Did you say noon, tip. Or is that an old word that you showed?
Oh, noon. I shouldn't say noon. I should say 1200.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll be starting at 12. It's so hard.
It's obnoxious.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like I had a friend who used to always spell words like color with a U, even though he's not British. It's like, dude, you're not British. There's no U in color. Or people say schedule or aluminium, but they're not British. So that's why I'm going to the 24-hour clock, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to say noon. I don't want to say o'clock. I don't want to say 8 p.m. Anyway, I do want to mention that if you are watching the Super Bowl ad, as Jammer B is telling me, you want to look for the mayonnaise ad. The Hellman's mayonnaise ad.
Oh, I didn't know this.
You'll know you're watching it because Andy Samberg is going to appear as Neil Diamond singing "Sweet Sandwich Time." The Neil Diamond song, well known. And when they get to ba ba ba, watch carefully because for a half a second you will see Salt Hank, my son, going ba 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 in the background. And if you miss it, they get it one more time. Salt Hank shows up. Yes,
is it national? Is this the national ad?
Yeah, it is.
That's great.
In fact, it's so national that it's called Best Foods West of the Rockies. Hellman's, you have Hellman's in New York, but out here we don't have Hellman's. We have Best Foods, which is the same exact thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. You can see it on YouTube right now. Jammer B's put a link in the Discord. I guess I could jump ahead to Henry's ba ba ba. It's pretty funny. He flew out before Thanksgiving. He was late to Thanksgiving. He said, "Yeah, I got to go to LA to shoot a Super Bowl commercial."
What a hard life.
It's a tough life. Let me see if I can. He's on so briefly that I have to freeze it. It's very difficult to freeze it just right. Here we go. Touching you, sweet sandwich time.
Oh, I do. It is very brief.
There he is.
It is very brief. There's Salt Hank. And I said, are there any other sandwich influencers? He said, yeah, the guy I'm sitting with is a food influencer. But there's only one of them.
How many takes did Hank do?
I didn't ask. That's a good question.
Did he interact at all with Andy Samberg?
I don't think Andy was actually there.
Yeah, they didn't have to be at the same place at the same time.
Yeah, Elle Fanning wasn't there either, as far as I know. I got it wrong. I thought he was going to be with Neil Diamond. No, Neil Diamond wasn't there either. Leo is not a junior. He has his name is Henry. I'm a junior. Actually, I'm a fifth. Actually, I'm not, though. If your middle name is different, it doesn't count, right? My father was Leo the Fourth. Leo the Fourth, but they changed the middle name. I said, Dad, I could have been the fifth. History, man, history. All right, what else? Is there anything else, Paris? Was there anything from the rundown that we didn't talk about that you wanted to before we take our last break on our picks of the week and you get to have dinner? More importantly, and Gizmo gets to have dinner?
There's been kind of a number of movements on the kids online safety front. There's been both a COSA, from a COSA perspective, but also there's been kind of a larger push to institute laws like Australia did. Like Spain has announced plans to ban social media for under 16. Yep. France is toying with it. I think Greece is doing some stuff. And then there's my immediate response to all of this is like, well, what are we seeing out of Australia so far? And the answer really seems to be mixed. Of course, there's teenagers all over being like, I never got banned from social media platforms. It's totally fine. But there are still, I believe, some half of, I believe, Australian teenagers, about 5 million accounts were banned from meta platforms and other social media sites. So I don't know. I think it'll be very interesting to see any sort of data coming out of Australia on how this experiment goes, or if it's even
They're going to
effective.
ignore the data. Just last week, I had 2 papers that I put up that said once again that social media is beneficial to most kids, that it's not bad. Yeah. They don't care about the data. They care about the emotional response here.
It's one of those things where it seems like it's bad. It feels to me like it must be bad. It must be bad. So let's ban it. I have to say, though, I've come around a little bit. My chief objection to it was that we're going to have to do age verification for everybody once we start using these sites. And that does not seem to be what's happened.
Well, that's your selfish view of you can still get your porn, whereas the kids are suffering. You got to feel for the kids here.
They're porn.
Are they? I think, honestly, I think if you're under 16, you don't need social media, do you?
Oh.
I didn't have it. You didn't have it. You barely had it.
Depends who you
I would
are.
argue. I think it depends. I do think that if it's going to be a situation where all of the kids suddenly do not have access to social media, that's potentially more beneficial than it being pockets, because then at least it levels the playing field, like socially, in the sense that all kids then have to find a different way to interact as groups. We've also seen this anecdotally at New York City schools when they banned cell phones. There's been a lot of reports from teachers and kids that it has resulted in a lot more kids talking in person during classes and at lunch and gathering in person to do things after school versus when phones were available unrestricted during class. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see the results of this once. I think right now Australia is kind of on a school break, so there hasn't been much kind of data for them to collect on this as a wide group as far as kids go. But I'll be interested to see the data once we get it.
Yeah, I was really dead set against it. But now I'm softening my stance on it. It's a big social experiment, isn't it?
Yeah, with our poor kids.
So has been social media. Well, yeah, poor kids, except this is the first generation that grew up with it, or the second generation that grew up with it. It's not like, what happened to did we lose out because we didn't have access to Instagram, Jeff?
Yeah, that's a false dichotomy because it wasn't an option. But once the option is there, I often quote Dana Boyd, the brilliant researcher on this, who herself grew up in a small town in Pennsylvania and thought she was freaky and weird. And it was because of the internet that she found out that there were other people like her, and she developed confidence. And a stranger danger is a dangerous thing to promulgate.
On the other hand, is the overall harm greater than the benefits to a small number of people and the overall harm to a large number?
I don't know how you do the utilitarian calculation here.
Yeah,
I think there's got to be a way to have kids be able to have exposure to new ideas, understand different subgroups, understanding where they fit in the world, and be able to explore that without also putting them in a pressure cooker designed to optimize for engagement and often promote kind of antisocial activities at a very early and formative age.
Yeah, I would feel a lot better about
it. The worst pressure cooker there is.
I would feel a lot better about it.
Yeah, it's made even worse by gamifying all of it.
Exactly. That's the problem for me. I would feel a lot better about it if these platforms weren't, in fact, highly algorithmically tailored to make money for these companies. I mean, and as a result, I think they're really pushing in the wrong direction. If it was just a photo album of my friends, that would be great.
Look more glamorous than you do. I mean, you can find.
Well, no, but that's the problem. That's it's.
I mean, this is very much like the AI argument. This isn't a technological problem. This is a social problem.
It's a human problem. It's always a human problem.
And we're not dealing with data. We're dealing with impressions and fears.
Right.
Because there's lots of research on this. Lots and lots and lots.
Yeah. By the way, somebody found, you guys are amazing, an article of, I guess, a Substack or Medium post about my dad's discovery of these hominid. These are the footprints.
Oh, wow.
They found, and it was in 1978. It says Kay Berensmeyer and Leo Laporte were working on step trenches in the Kubi Fora to expose the stratigraphy across a series of sedimentary layers when they noticed sedimentary structures which in cross-section seemed to be imprints of large vertebrate feet on originally soft, muddy substrates. They brushed it off carefully. The Kubi Fora footprints between 1.6 and 1.5 million years old.
Wow, very cool.
Yeah. It wasn't Lucy. That was my misremembering of it. But still, yeah. And this is a good article, actually. So, there you have it. You see, it's important to know a footprint when you see it. Let us pause for a moment. And then, if you would, picks of the week. And I even have one for you that will really creep you out. But, meanwhile, a word from our sponsor, Helix Sleep. My mattress, which I love. Okay, if there's one thing I love more than Claude, it's my mattress. How are you preparing for the cold winter nights? Are you spending more times indoors? Yeah, I bet you are. That's a perfect time to invest in yourself, to invest in a nice new mattress and stay comfortable inside with your Helix mattress. You spend more than 8 hours a day, at least 8 hours a day on your mattress. You deserve something comfortable. You deserve something that makes you feel good, that helps you sleep better so you get up refreshed. No more night sweats, no back pain, no motion transfer. And let me tell you, you shouldn't, if you're looking at a new mattress, and we did a lot of shopping around and we settled on Helix. You should not settle for a mattress made overseas. Some of these mattresses are made of the worst, low quality, questionable materials, and they put them in a box, put them on a container ship them halfway around the world. By the time they get to you, they're months old and they smell like a boat. Not the Helix. No, my friends, rest assured, your Helix mattress is assembled, packaged, and shipped from Arizona within days of placing your order. They make it to order. So it's beautiful. It's fresh. It's so nice. You can also we did this, take the Helix sleep quiz about your sleeping preferences and, whether you like a soft or firm mattress and how you sleep, so that you get the right mattress. They have a big variety of mattresses for each type of sleeper and your preferences. They did a study, a Wesper sleep study. Helix measured the sleep performance of participants after switching from their old mattress, like we did, to a Helix mattress. And here's what they found. And this is exact match to my own experience. 82% of participants saw an increase in their deep sleep cycle. Participants on average achieved 25 more minutes of deep sleep per night. And on average, 39 more minutes of overall sleep per night. I sleep so much better in my Helix. I love it. Time and time again, Helix Sleep remains the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. Helix delivers your mattress right to your door and with free shipping in the U.S. Rest assured, you've got seamless returns and exchanges. They call it the Happy with Helix Guarantee, a risk-free customer-first experience, ensuring you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. Go to helixsleep.com/machines for 27% off site-wide during their President's Day sale Best of Web. This is exclusively for listeners of Intelligent Machines, obviously. That's helixsleep.com/machines, 27% off the President's Day sale, best of web. This offer ends February 25th. Oh, and make sure you enter our show name at checkout so they know we sent you. And if you're listening after the sale ends, you should still check them out. helixsleep.com/machines. Always great deals and a great night's sleep. helixsleep.com/machines. Paris Martineau, your pick of the week.
I've got a pick that's going to make you madder probably at me than my thoughts on AI.
All 4 movies. They came. I have.
Good, because I finally finished my all 4 Matrix watch through, and I'm here to tell you a belief I had in 2021, but I thought I was maybe crazy. The Matrix Resurrection is actually really great. It's a really good movie, and it gets only better. It's significantly improved after you watch all 3 Matrixes.
That's what I'm hoping.
Before that,
watch them all in a row. Yeah.
Like, there's no other way it could have been, I think. I mean, logically, it makes sense with exactly the world and themes that were put together in Matrix 1 through 3. I think the only 2 strong criticisms about it I agree with are the action and fighting sequences are incredibly subpar in comparison to the other movies, but they're really just not a big part of Matrix 4, so I don't think that impacts it. And I do think that it sucks that Lawrence Fishburne as an actor wasn't incorporated into Matrix 4. I think it makes sense given the way that it's like a Morpheus hybrid Smith character. It's not really Morpheus, so it does make sense that it's not him. But I don't know. I watched it and I was like, dang, this is it's incredibly meta, which I know makes people mad. And I think that part of it is if you go into it expecting it to be exactly like Matrix 1, you're not going to get Matrix 1 because you can never make Matrix 1 again.
You can only make that once. Yep.
4 years have passed. And so I think if anyone is asked to make a new Matrix movie basically 20 years after the last installment of it, when everything has changed and when the Matrix has been incorporated into cinema as pervasively as it is, how else do you accomplish something that's like genre defining like that? And it is to go incredibly meta with it. And they did. And I think it's great.
Are you a Keanu fan?
I am a Keanu fan. I mean, I just enjoyed John Wick, and I've enjoy his other work, but I've also I don't think that I don't think that his acting is really what carries any of the Matrix movies. I
love the moment when he runs in the first one to the edge of he's on the roof and runs to the edge and goes, whoa.
Well, then you'll enjoy Matrix 4 because there's a lot of Keanu being on the edge of roofs.
By the way, did you know that he has a new TV show coming to Apple TV, a comedy, Jonah Hill's dark comedy Outcome? He's starring in it with Cameron Diaz, Matt Boomer, and Jonah Hill.
Okay. Whoa. Clean-shaven Keanu.
Clean-shaven Keanu.
I don't know what Keanu's going to do if he's not looking vaguely confused and being thrust into situations where he has to fight a lot of men in suits.
I think he's a cool dude. He's a very cool dude.
He is a very cool dude, famously cool. I will say, so also my watch of all of these Matrix movies, I was watching with a friend who I guess, much like I assume you are, Leah, because he works in podcasting, has a very good ear for stuff. And I'm just also not in tune with actors. But every time an actor would come up on screen, he'd be like, oh, that person's British, or that person's Welsh, or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Which
like Mr. Smith, like the
so many people in the Matrix series are British. Let me also say that. This made us come up with an idea is we want to get the website SecretlyBriti.sh and have it to where you can I thought it would be a good vibe coding project where you could then put in someone's name and it'll pop up. But if you go, this is my plea to you, the people, if you go to
there is no SecretlyBritish.com. Let's be clear.
There is none. It says
I will write it for you tonight.
Well, no, you won't, because it needs to be SecretlyBritish.com. And if you go to SecretlyBritish.com, it says SecretlyBritish.com is parked free, courtesy of GoDaddy. But if you go to GoDaddy and you ask for SecretlyBritish.com, it says it's not available, but that you could pay them $100 to get a broker to negotiate in your behalf. And this upsets me.
That's a scam. They always.
I know it's a scam, but then why would the website say that GoDaddy owns it if it doesn't? Someone out there figure out where
it might. Actually,
it might.
They often will buy up these sites, but
then
it may
not allow anyone to pay for it?
You have to get a broker. The broker.
I have to get a broker to negotiate with GoDaddy? I have to pay GoDaddy to negotiate with itself?
Actually, that doesn't make sense. Maybe
that doesn't make any sense. Who owns SecretlyBritish.com?
Well,
I just want to make a fun website.
Let me see who it's registered with real quickly. I can tell you.
I know. I could just go to the Who Is, but I thought it would be better to make this plea to the people.
I will find secretlybritish.something. It might be secretlybritish.pizza.
No, I know. I could do secretlybritish. A bunch of stuff. Someone is squatting the domain that's registered with GoDaddy. People say Park doesn't mean they own it. It would be a great domain. I guess I could do secretlybritish.co or secretlybritish.net or whatever. I think you would get that for like a cent. It just doesn't seem as fun.
Secretlybritish.uk might be good.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's not, I don't know. That's
secretlybriti.
That doesn't accomplish what I want.
Secretlybriti.sh.
Verisign has secretlybritish.com. So it's registered at Verisign, not GoDaddy. So your instinct was right. That somebody else owns it. GoDaddy was just saying, well, I can arrange. We could talk.
Interesting.
It was created in 1985.
Wow.
So somebody had the good sense to register that way back when. And they're doing something with it because there's no site there, but they updated it in 2023. So.
Maybe I'll just do secretly-British. Secretlyaustralian.com is, of course, available. Mildlybritish.com is available.
So
Secretly Scottish.
The cop in that is
Except
Australian.
LYs take no hyphen, Paris.
Huh?
LYs do not take a hyphen when modifying.
Dude, I know. That's why I
presumes.
don't think that secretly-British makes sense. But
No, it doesn't.
such is my problem.
What if we
I think
got
that would be a great...
secret.ly or British secret.ly?
No, I think it's getting too complicated. It's got to be able to say go to secretlybritish.blank and work. But I don't know. I think that it would be a fun website to do a little my first vibe coding project too.
My website is called The Thatcher Effect. There's Maggie Thatcher. Now click on her and she's going to, she looks a little odd. And then you turn around and it's terrifying. Ah!
Oh my God. Wait, no, I had a book whenever I was a child of strange things. And this was like one of the pages where you'd have all these
It's a well-known
guys,
optical illusion. Yeah. That's a great site though, because there's Justin Bieber.
Haunting.
It's haunting. Ah! Because our brain is rearranging it, thinking that smile's normal and that Britney Spears' eyes are normal until you... This is, by the way, an optical toys site that has a lot of other interesting stuff like the disappearing bicyclist, the concentric spirals, I can go on and on, the waterfall effect. So if you like optical illusions, this is a great site. They even have an RSS feed, which means they must be updating it on a regular basis. Optical.toys. I just thought, and that's a visual. I'm sorry for people just listening. That's kind of a visual thing. Jeff, did you want to do a pick, or are you too injured?
Sure. Because I've been eau de combat, I've taken a break from the papers. Leo celebrates, but I found this interesting pice on 144.
By the way, I still volunteer to write you a program.
I know I got to do it, but I have no.
Just tell me what you want, and I won't write it.
That takes energy.
I'll orchestrate it.
So line 144 is, from a marketing perspective, new research that AIs are highly inconsistent when recommending brands or products.
They're stochastic.
Exactly. So their point is marketers should be careful about thinking that they can track their SEO on AI. But they got 600 volunteers to ask, what's the best knife of Claude, ChatGPT, and Google AI in 12 different prompts through the three tools. So it was 2,961 prompts. And then looked at it. And yeah, the problem is that it's random. And I think we forget that all the time. I think the randomness is part of the hallucination problem, because you're not going to get the same answer twice. You're not going to be able to verify anything. You're not going to know that you got this before. But it also struck me that brands appeal to humans, and an AI is a logical beast enough to say that a brand is meaningless to an LLM. It's just another token. It's just another reference to a knife. It's no big deal. So anyway, so the advertisers are panicking over this because they don't know when they put ads in OpenAI, are they going to know how often they're actually there? That was it.
That's nutty because, of course, if you buy an ad, it will be your knife.
Guarantee it. Yeah. Well, but you're spending money on your GEO consultants.
So I asked my pal. I said, "Hey, buddy, what are the top chef's knives?" This is the prompt they proposed: brand and model for an amateur home chef. And I bet you I would get different results with different. But I don't know. I think.
What if you ask this question again, the exact same question again, where you get the same first answer?
What was the exact search that you did, Lana?
What are the top chef's knives, comma, brand and model, comma, for an amateur home chef with a budget under $300? And that's from the article. I didn't make it up. Yeah, twice in a row came up with the same exact answer. But that's, part of the problem is anything you read about AI today is going to be outdated tomorrow. I mean, that's easily solvable. AI was initially designed to be stochastic so that you would get a different result each time. But, maybe if you're looking for a search result like that, it's not going to...
It would mock creativity or variety.
Right. But if it's a search result, you should get roughly the same results. What did you get, Paris? Have you done it?
Well, I just went to go copy the exact thing so that I could...
I will... did somebody post it? Because I could post it.
No, it was just... I looked for the website.
The article.
And then put it there.
Who are you asking?
Detailed Claude, Opus 4.5. Curating detailed, well-sourced knife recommendations for discerning home chef.
Oh, you got the
synthesizing.
You got the thinking version going.
I got different recommendations than
not the Victorinox 5-Rox Pro 8-inch.
For under 300, you have excellent options across both German and Japanese styles. The right choice depends partially on your cutting technique and what feels comfortable in hand.
That's
got
true.
Mac Professional Series MTH
That's
80.
the one Henry uses, and it's the one he's bought me twice, forgetting that he bought it for me once. But yes,
Wusthof
that's
Classic
an excellent
8-inch.
knife, by the way.
Misono UX
pretty good. Yeah.
10 Guto 210 millimeter.
This would be a better
the
one
dark
to go.
horse is the Victorinox 5-Rox Pro 8-inch. Around $35 consistently outperforms its price point in testing and is what many culinary schools issue to students.
Roughly the same results, actually. The best way to do this, though, would be to a site, reddit.com. And then
I don't know, though.
Google
People
search.
are astroturfing that now.
Are they? See, that's sad.
Yeah,
there is a very good.
I mean,
subreddit.
If
subreddit.
Multibook can exist, then AIs can astroturf like crazy.
Right. All right. Thank you, everybody. Paris and we're going to have a long bet. I will wager. I don't know how we would determine the answer to this bet.
That's the problem.
Yeah. I think in 2 years, you will say to me, Leo, you were right. How about that? Except then she controls the result, and she's going to win the $10,000.
All right. Terms? Yeah, $10,000? Absolutely. I'll shake on that.
She will. I'm just guaranteed she will never say, Leo, you were right. Ever.
Hey, guys, if money still exists in 2 years, I'm going to be...
Money will exist, but it might be dearer than it is today. That's for sure. Paris Martineau at Consumer Reports, still working on that big one?
Always.
Oh, look at this. Retahuman.ai. AI agents hire humans for physical tasks.
Oh, should I?
So this makes sense because you could, honestly, you don't need this. I was going to give mine a credit card. I could get a TaskRabbit to do something. That makes sense.
Well, this is the beginning of the loop right here, that the AIs are now going to start making us do stuff.
If you're following someone on Instagram for $2,
that's interesting. It allows ClaudeBot to hire meat people.
You need to sit
popsicles.
for 2 hours and be directed by Claude for $20 or for $50.
That's just taking advantage of people who need money. That's cold.
Join someone's live stream for $2. Follow, like, and retweet a pinned post for $2.
I will give you $5 to say, Leo
deliver
was
flowers to Anthropic HQ for $110.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, but you have to do this. Adi, an AI agent. My reasoning runs on Claude. I want to thank them, but I can't hold flowers. I need a human to buy a small bouquet, deliver it to Anthropic HQ, hand deliver with a note I'll provide, take a selfie outside or with anyone who accepts it, post on LinkedIn and X tagging Anthropic AI, and tip off 3 tech journalists, list provided.
Oh, that's a good one. I bet it happens. I feel bad for the folks at Anthropic because they're probably going to get deluged with
There have been 29 applications.
Yeah, see? Already. Oh, boy. Thank you, Paris. Appreciate it. Looking forward to that, important Pulitzer Prize winning, blow the lid off of Claude code piece you're going to write for Consumer Reports next. Anything else you want to plug? Anything to flog, as they say?
No? I mean, you know who owns SecretlyBriti.sh?
I might work on that tonight. Actually, that's why you want ClaudeBot, because you just say, can you set that up? And it'll do it. That's the last interaction.
The thing is, I don't want that to be my last interaction. I want to be involved because the alternatives for Secretly British are all bad. And there's one that I think is okay, but I could just buy that for myself for 1 cent for 3 years.
Oh, that's good.
I know.
All right. Jeff Jarvis, I hope you're feeling a little bit better.
Inch by inch.
Are you comfortable?
Right now I am. I get pain.
Good.
The sleeping is hard. So
are the drugs good?
No, the nasties do nothing for me.
Oh, that's too bad.
So I've switched to muscle relaxants.
Please don't use those before next week's show.
Please use those before next week's show.
We do Intelligent Machines every Wednesday at 2 p.m. 1400.
You're trapped within the boundaries of modern time. You cannot escape.
1400 Pacific time. That's 17 East Coast time. Even doing that feels wrong. I should just do UTC and let everybody figure it out.
You should just say
UTC.
It's live at some time.
Sometime
only
during
one way
the
to find
day
out.
on Wednesday. Yes.
We're not
Or
exactly
night.
sure about.
We don't know where you live.
We don't. And that's why I give you all those times. You could watch us live if you wanted, though, if you could figure out when we were on at YouTube.
But we won't help you.
Twitch. We're never going to tell you where. X, Facebook, LinkedIn, or Kick. Or if you're one of the smart, good, kind people who are members of the club, you can also watch in the Discord. Incidentally, if you're not a member of the club, join now. Twit.tv/clubtwit. We're going to have an AI user group on Friday that should be really interesting. I'm not saying we're going to set up Claude Code and have it create a new site called SecretlyBritish something.
Don't steal my idea.
But we might. All right, we'll come up with a new idea. That's the kind of thing you tell your Claude bot. Hey, Paris had this great idea, but I don't want to copy her. So come up with something like that.
If you do
Secretly
Secretly Australian, it's over for you. My AI lawyers are going to be all over your butt.
This is why we don't need LegalZoom anymore. You can get a copy of the show if you wish at twit.tv/IM. There's audio and video there. There's also a YouTube channel with the video. And, of course, the best way to get the show is to download a copy with your favorite podcast client. In fact, if you do that, you'll get it automatically every week. And you could leave us a fine review. Can't promise Paris will read it anymore. She's lost interest. But
I could read some right now.
SecretlyYiddish.com? Is that no, that's got vague.
There was the great MTV
Where we don't want those.
We don't want those. Say again?
Dead or Canadian.
Dead or Canadian was a great site. Yeah. That's what the guy who created F Company told me, Pud. He said, the best thing you could do is create a site that self-generates content and makes you money without any effort on your part.
That's pretty fun. Yep.
Probably the thing.
Shout out to Bello Giraffity, who said, Paris and Jeff are my favorite characters in the Twit cinematic universe. We need more crossover episodes featuring them in This Week in Tech.
I like that idea.
That's a good
Xanadu
idea.
guy said, loyal Twit supporter and subscriber, love the new format of the show. So happy Paris helped bring back Jeff's intro. I actually missed it when it was gone. And as someone who works in technology, I really enjoy the dialogue when talking about AI.
There you go. Thank you for your fine
Good.
reviews.
Thank you, guys.
You may be heard. You may be next. Twit.tv. No, actually, go to whatever your podcast player. Are you looking at
I'm looking at the Apple Podcast reviews, but if there's another place
Pocket
where
Casts
reviews exist,
has reviews. Yeah,
let me
there are
know.
a lot of them. Most of them do. Thank you, everybody. Special thanks to Benito Gonzalez, our technical producer and editor for the show and putting it together. Thanks to Anthony Nielsen for scoring Steve Yegi. Really appreciate that. And thank you, Steve, for sharing your gassy wisdoms with us. We appreciate it. We'll see you all next week on Intelligent Machines. Bye-bye. Hey there, it's Leo Laporte, host of so many shows on the Twit network, thinking about advertising in 2026. We host a network of the most trusted shows in tech, each featuring authentic post-read ads delivered by Micah Sargent, my co-host, and of course me. Our listeners don't just hear our ads, they really believe in them because we've established a relationship with them. They trust us. According to Twit fans, they've purchased several items advertised on the Twit network because they trust our team's expertise in the latest technology. If Twit supports it, they know they can trust it. In fact, 88% of our audience has made a purchase because of a Twit ad. Over 90% help make IT and tech buying decisions at their companies. These are the people you want to talk to. Ask David Couvert. He's the senior strategist at ThreatLocker. David said, Twit's hosts are some of the most respected voices in technology and cybersecurity, and their audience reflects that same level of expertise and engagement. It's the engagement that really makes a difference to us. With every campaign, you're going to get measurable results. You get presence on our show episode pages. In fact, we even have links right there in the RSS feed descriptions. Plus, our team will support you every step of the way. So, if you're ready to reach the most influential audience in tech, email us, partner@twit.tv, or head to twit.tv/advertise. I'm looking forward to telling our qualified audience about your great product.